Oh my god!
This is why you never let Antony look up anything. Anytime he does, it's got inside out assholes and six dicks.
No! Stop! No!
Okay.
I didn't want to see that.
Okay,
That's
moving
Okay,
on.
and just
Dude,
Let's
Bowser's
talk
got
about-
quite the penis. All right, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Thought Patrol podcast. We are back, and we also have a full room again. It is your host, Kyle, and then we also have Antony.
Hello.
We have Elizabeth.
Hi.
And Shawn being his beautiful self on the other line of Discord, as always.
snooch to the nooch.
Okay. You...
Skadoosh.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Some of
whatever.
you know where that's from.
Yeah, skadoosh?
Yeah, skadoosh.
Skadoosh.
I love that movie.
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Okay.
We may have to kick you out of the room.
Now you see Jack Black movies. What they do is they like I could feel like the cancer developing in my brain.
Wait,
And
but what
it leaves-
about what was that one with the guitar?
with the guitar?
Yeah.
Tenacious
Oh,
D.
Tenacious
Tenacious D.
D. Oh my god.
I'm talking about animated Jack Black films.
Oh,
Tenacious
okay.
D was excellent. I agree with Tenacious D. All right, so how have your weeks been, everybody? How are we doing? Auntie, been playing any games?
Just the usual. Still trying to complete stuff and just kind of getting caught up with like school and work, but that's about it. I mean, not much. Just the usual Borderlands, Nier, and then wanting to start or continue Persona, but wanted to get Nier completely out of the way.
Oh god, I love Persona so much. Like every time when I do decide to sit down and play it, if we're not doing something else, it's just like 9 hours of the day gone instantly. And I'm like, oh shit, it's nighttime. I haven't eaten food. Should probably get to that. Yeah,
Gamer life.
excellent. Yeah, how far are you in Nier? How's that looking? Without spoilers.
I am past the. Oh god, what's her
Thing
name?
with that stuff.
What's her name? The robots in the woods.
Oh, wait. The robot. Oh, yeah. Pascal.
Pascal. Yes, I already met her. Him.
It's a.
I am not too sure.
They both sound like girls in the English and Japanese, so I don't really know.
Well, maybe
either.
it's just a really feminine like guy.
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. It's a trap.
I'm a really feminine guy.
Yeah, you sound very feminine, Shawn. Femininims. Oh my
You
God.
start yoding your shit again?
That's all
No,
I do.
people in
back to
Modern
the
Warfare
Yoda
2 in the Xbox 360 days when I first got the Xbox 360, everyone thought that I was a girl on Modern Warfare 2.
Well, it's better than at least
I
being
still
a little kid, a little boy.
No, they thought I was like a little girl.
They thought I was a boy. They were like, "Oh no, she's not a girl. She's a boy." I'm like, "I'm a
It
girl,
always
guys.
goes. It always goes. The
That was their
opposite.
denial. They're like, this can't be real.
She's
a girl,
not playing Halo."
A girl playing video games? Nah, it must be like a really high pitched like boy.
Yeah.
My boner's betraying me. This can't be
It's a
real.
trap.
Yeah.
What about you, Shawn? How's your week been?
I'm better now that I'm with you,
So professional.
Antony. I missed you and your deliciousness, and now I feel fulfilled.
How do you feel
Don't
about
slam the fucking table.
I get excited.
Pulling the
Ooh,
same
do I
shit.
have-
Pulling the same shit Caleb
I'm like, do
pulled
I have
last week.
competition with?
Stop slamming the fucking
Do I have
table.
some
No.
competition, man?
Yeah, everyone has to be where Shawn is the ultimate side bitch. Right, Shawn?
Damn. Oh,
Yeah.
Shawn.
Shawn sucked that dick for
I've made a
250.
career out of it.
Well, how do you guys feel about like the upcoming like beta? Everyone's got like the Destiny 2 beta. Everyone signed up for it.
Oh,
You're all
I'm
gonna do
signed
it?
up.
I
I'm
have
straight
it.
up signed up. I know Shawn isn't yet. Are you, Shawn?
Shawn.
Yeah, I am. I was the first one
wow.
to sign up.
You
Yo,
were
dude.
about to say.
Yeah, like you better hop on that bandwagon.
Yo, our clan name Swiggity
still-
Swooty for Booty shall live on.
Oh,
and
wait.
all
You
legacy.
guys already talking about clans?
We're already in a clan. We had a clan from Destiny 1.
I know, but what about Destiny 2? Though?
Well, it follows over.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of debate because I know some of our friends are gonna be like, no.
Join our clan. Oh,
All they
did
got to
you
do
guys
is see the name and they'll instantly join.
Can I
Swiggity
create my
swooty for
clan?
booty.
Well, remember
like
they
boobies?
Sweetie.
Did you guys see what was that video that we saw?
Oh, so the trailer. No,
What
Was it
trailer?
the
We watched. Well,
Destiny
I sat there and
The
watched the
Destiny 2
entire.
trailer?
I watched the entire stream.
the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stream.
What?
stream.
What from the stream?
How like for the clans,
Yeah.
it's gonna have like the clan name and that. you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
the
be
guide, the
dedicated to
guided,
one-
the guided adventure thing. Well, you're not. It's not that you're not dedicated to one. It's that it's how you get more people into the clan.
Yeah, you can have like a whole quote and everything like for your clan. And it's like
Yeah, that's like so you're like presenting yourself to the community.
yeah, one of
and-
them was like destroying noobs with like grenades all day. Or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
Like that.
You can pick what clan you and I like that. There's. Well, we're gonna talk about Destiny. I have it in the news. We're gonna definitely talk about Destiny, so we'll get
Yes.
into that. But we're gonna get some clerical shit out of the way. I'm glad that everyone's been having a good week. I hope you all out there that are listening also have a good week. And if you want to tell us about it, leave us a comment, and we'll be happy to hear from you. There's also we have our Discord, which there'll be a link for in the description. Again, if you have anything that you liked or disliked about this episode, go ahead, leave us a comment. Tell us you fucking hate us, you don't like our guts, and we'll give you that little thumbs up and say thanks for taking the time. And also, if you like our content, leave a subscribe. We do have a Twitter at Thought Patrol PD. And yeah, so leave some feedback. That's the biggest thing that you can do to help us out. After this episode goes out, our lucky number 5, I'm going to work on getting all of our content on streaming services so you guys don't have to sit there and watch a fucking YouTube video for 2 hours. I know that is probably the worst way to listen to a podcast, but this is going to be our hub. So eventually when we get to further down the road in progress, we're going to work on getting Let's Plays out, more content for you guys as a whole. And we just want to bring as many people as we can in with the podcast and then go from there. But we have some big plans going for this. So again, the fastest way you guys can help us grow is by leaving us some feedback, and we'll be happy to hear from you. And if you want to just talk to us, to shoot the shit, I'm on the Discord. I'm going to be getting everyone onto the Discord. So if you guys have anything, if you want to submit questions for us to read on the podcast, or just talk to us, and again, tell us you hate our guts, we'll be there. And we'll be happy. So we'll say thanks. So after all that clerical shit is out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the news. So I have it written in the doc as holy shit, Destiny 2. This is going to be our first little thing we talk about. Recently,
Yay, Destiny.
over the past week, the Destiny 2 stream kind of thing happened. They showed some gameplay. They showed what they're working towards. They had some people come up and talk. They dropped some bombs, showed us some news. So did anyone else get a chance to check out the stream or anything afterwards about it?
I thought,
Destiny 2 stream?
Yeah, like the actual stream as it happened. I know it happened like in the middle of the afternoon on like a weekday, so not everyone got to see it. But even like at its
I
peak,
watched it after.
yeah, at its
Yeah,
at
we
its
did too.
yeah during the live, I think it hit like 480,000 people watching live on the
oh shit.
on the stupid Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. So that's a shitload of people. That's crazy. I was super excited to see that, and especially in the middle of a work day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 480,000 fans right there. That's crazy. So, oh geez, I smacked the table. What goes around comes around.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, it looks like they're taking everything that they're keeping. I've heard a lot of people complain that it just looks like Destiny 1 DLC, and I understand where they're coming from. The game's not been revamped in any way, shape, or form. We're just getting more content for it. And when you truly look back at it and you look at a sequel, right? To a game, you look at a sequel, most of the time, if it's not a huge skip in between the games, which this hasn't been really, you're not getting a whole revamped experience. You're getting more content and a slightly more like slightly prettier, more up-to-date game. So I don't understand that argument that people are like, oh, this is just Destiny 1.5 and shit. I don't understand that at all.
Well,
I'm
remember,
already excited
Destiny,
about the game.
Bungie's got a big hole to fill that they dug for themselves with the
Oh
first
yeah,
game.
definitely.
It was an entertaining game. It was a fun game, but it was severely flawed, and it was not the experience we paid for. And we stuck around with it because they kept putting just enough little nuggets of goodness for us to continue playing. But with the amount that they've got to make up for, people have some reasonably high expectations for the sequel, or else they're going to walk away from Destiny for good. This is a make it or break it for this franchise. If this sequel does not improve on everything from the first, at least maintain the good parts and improve on some of the bad, then, I mean, if they do more of the same, that's what people are afraid of. I don't think it's as much as the criticisms are out there, people going, oh, it looks like this, it looks like that. I think they're just worried it's going to be more of the same. And when you make a sequel, it's supposed to be more than what you got from the first run around. Even if you're using the same game engine, there's supposed to be improvements to the game. And that's what they're worried about. It doesn't look improved. It just looks like more of the same kind of sexiness.
Well,
and we're really not going to know until we turn it on.
Yeah, definitely. When that beta comes around, we'll have more of an idea. So since none of us were at the event to kind of take part in the strike that they had there and the multiplayer that they had available.
Wait, really quick. Did you guys notice that a lot of the people were just very serious? Like every time they would crack a joke, no one would laugh.
Oh yeah, that's weird. I mean, they had some
industry insider thing, man.
Well,
they had some laughs
on how to get invited to that, and you have to be a YouTuber or streamer. You have to really be in the game world to get invited.
Yeah, but
even if you're invited, you didn't.
But it doesn't have to be you're stone cold and just
But people weren't excited. Like if you went to Star Wars Celebration, people were going crazy over those live streams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I thought that's.
I wouldn't gauge that thing that we saw. I wouldn't gauge that as anything yet, man. I mean, all it is PR right now, cutscenes, and they played through one part of the game. So I've heard that we're going to get to actually run missions with NPCs now. So Cade's going to do some stuff, and we're actually going to get to do more with the NPCs that are giving us missions and shit. Which I'm excited for. And I think they tried to show that in one of the cutscenes where Cade went in and did some badass stuff, and they kind of gave each one of the members of the council doing some cool shit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get to run some missions with them where they kind of show up and do some badass whatnot.
Yeah, if you look at the first mission they showcase when the tower's being overrun, you have your 3 team there and they're dropping Cabal on you, and you have Zavala right there with his bubble up, and you're all taking cover in his bubble. So he's it looks like they're bringing us a more cinematic experience, which is one of the larger complaints from the community from Destiny 1, that there just wasn't a coherent story that was something that was presented up forth to you. A lot of it was behind going on the website and reading a lot. No one's going to fucking do that. They want their story presented.
All of it was behind that.
Yeah.
Even to a point, if they put an app in the game where when you got a grimoire you could read it, then it would be like a Skyrim game or some of those other games where 90% of the plot comes through books. But at the very least, you could read it there. There's not a separation between the game, then going in, then finding the grimoire, then going through a complicated menu system, then selecting the one piece, and then being able to read it. I have a huge grimoire rating. I've read 3 pieces because I said fuck it. And I really wanted to know, because Bungie originally had a well thought out, well detailed, well written universe, and then they had to excise 75% of it and just kind of make the rest up as they went along. And part of that's Activision's fault, part of it's Bungie's fault. We're done pointing fingers. It's more, let's just hope that they give us the game we paid for. I'm not going in with any expectations except I want more color, because Destiny was so washed out. It's dull. So I'd like to see some more color of some kind, and just a more dynamic game where we get to do more. I'm fucking done with fetch quests. I'm done.
Yeah, I feel you. And
I like the idea of bigger worlds.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yes,
it's not just a patrol where you're going and there's stuff there and you're there for one purpose and that's about it. But it's you're kind of almost exploring a somewhat open world with your friends. They have secrets hidden in the maps where you could find treasures and stuff like that. And hopefully now another problem with Destiny is that a lot of stuff they initially introduced, as more content was pushed out, a lot of the initial stuff was pushed to the wayside. So hopefully as they continue to update the game and add more to it, which is almost definitely going to happen, that they keep it all balanced in a way that even though new shit comes out, I hope that like the old shit still stays relevant in some way, shape, or form. But
I think it would be beneficial to stretch out the levels too, like to give yourself a deeper progression system for the characters and not jump like 5 levels in like 2 hours of playing. Because when you played the first Destiny, I made level 20 in like a couple days, and it was just for a couple hours of playing. I didn't do much.
Yeah, from what it looks like, I really
don't want to. I mean, it didn't feel like I really made that much progress.
Yeah, from what it looks like though, it looks like
it's over any other game. Like you're building strategies on your character, and you've got different kits and things like that. And this isn't an MMORPG, but it is an MMO. You've got a massively multiplayer game. You see tons of people playing. Like I want a more in-depth character build. I would like to see that.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
That's right. Do you remember that the female? I don't remember what they're called right now because nobody fucking. The female robot chick from the first storyline. You remember she gives you the gun. She's really enigmatic and she's cool as fuck, and then she vanishes for the rest of the storyline.
Oh yeah, that hunter. The hunter.
Remember? Yeah. She's a hunter, no ghost. And she makes mention that she didn't have contact with the light. Right? Okay. We're like her now.
Well, because
remember, everybody's cut off from the light. So I'm hoping they bring her back in, because all the Guardians have to learn how to live without their ghosts.
Wait, but well,
it's not the ghost
without her light,
or the
Eris Morn. I don't know. I don't know if they'll even have her in the game, but always bring out that fucking Eris Morn. All right.
No, it's a legit question. Does she have her light?
The idea is that the Traveler has been like captured in a way. So that the Cabal have come and they're taking the Traveler because they want the Traveler's gift, which is knowledge and the power of being touched by the light and stuff like that. So they're grabbing the Traveler. They put this force field around it, and everyone that's previously connected to the light has been cut off. So I'd assume so. If she did have it, then she would no longer have it because everyone's been removed from the light, which I think, looking at it, I think is a very cool way of explaining why we have to restart. As characters, I think it's cool. I mean, the vault's kind of getting destroyed, and the Traveler in a state of peril being taken is a cool way of showing why we've lost our light and we've lost our powers because we don't have the light anymore. We don't have that touch. So I wonder if in the first level, if you die, it just gives you a game over. That'd be fucking awesome, because you're like limping back over and trying to. It's cool. I like the idea that the tower, which we've grown to love and know every bit of it so much, has been completely destroyed. We've lost it, and now, like the first level that they showed, you're kind of just limping through and getting through this destroyed tower where all these memories that you had took place, and it feels like you've grown in this world and you've grown up it's crazy. But yeah, let's keep moving because we're trying to. We need to work on our pacing as a podcast. So I want to go over to the next article. It still has to do with a little bit with Destiny, but this is Destiny 2 on PC will not have dedicated servers and will not require high-end specs. So this is from Chris Perrier of GameSpot. You know, my go-to site.
Just email him.
Listen, I got home
I
got home from the trip, and it was like 2:00, and I had to get this whole mic situation shut up, and then
shut up.
Yeah, then then I'm like, shit, I haven't even done the notes for the podcast yet. So I worked on the show notes for an hour, and this is what we do. It makes it a lot easier. And they have some diverse news. They have a lot of shit they talk about. So suck a dick.
Kyle's explored the internet gratuitously and found one website from which to get news.
Yes,
and it just so happens to work Chris Perrier to the bone. That poor guy.
Yeah, no, he's making his buku bucks. When Destiny 2 was first announced, one of the first big news pieces was that unlike the first game, it would be coming to PC in addition to consoles. The PC version has remained something of a mystery for over the last 2 months, but we're now beginning to learn more about what computer players can expect. So, as they've shown in both in the live stream, that first of all, we know that it makes sense, but we know that Blizzard will be helping distribute Destiny 2 through their Battle.net game client, which again, Activision owns Blizzard, so it doesn't really, it's not really a bad idea. And they'll bring a lot of people into Destiny, and then they also have something that will make sure that the game launches strongly. Because it's Battle.net, it can handle high strain. They don't have to go through anything like Steam or anything like that, so they have full control of how the game launches. So that's really cool.
And they know how to handle that situation because they've done it before.
Yeah.
It just went through like a good route because if, Blizzard is such a good company, it's just the way they launched their product and the way they launched and executed, they're going to execute this. It's going to be a good program.
Well, look
software.
at Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch did so well.
Well, yeah, but that's
Blizzard always launches every IP and every expansion to an IP like it's a major event. They had one dungeon, the WoW. They hold a fucking festival somewhere, So I mean, that's what they do. They add a tiny bit to something, and they treat it like it's this big thing, and people get in on it, and they have their culture, their geek culture built around WoW. So yeah, it's a genius move.
Yeah. So. Shawn, what is that?
Yeah, it's like you're scratching.
Are you like filing your nails or something, dude?
Huh?
Are you filing?
Are you like filing your nails or something?
No.
I would do.
Oh,
it's not me.
Okay. I don't know. You're like doing flips through flaming hoops and shit while we record the podcast. The amount of noise we get from your side.
Some strange things. Yeah.
All right. So they're making this game as available as possible to new members. They've talked about how they want the game to be both an enjoyment to veterans and new players, which can be almost a death sentence because it's hard to appease both sides. Look at what they did with Final Fantasy 15, a horrible game. So, just as
its biggest proponent for the longest, it's not, and me being the biggest detractor, and even I'll say it's not a horrible game. It's just very, very flawed.
Yeah, that's a topic.
Wait, are we talking about Destiny or
Final Fantasy 15? That's a topic for another podcast. We're on Destiny 2. Yeah. So yeah, the excitement. This game is going to launch strongly. It's got a lot of hype behind it, and I want to see how well it does in its first week. I'm really excited about for Bungie as a whole. If anything from the last year of Destiny 1 is any type of indicator, Destiny 2 looks like they're rearing up for something good, and I'm excited to see what exactly they do and how far they go, and hopefully we have a lot more content at launch than Destiny 1. So let's continue.
They did such a good job writing the Halo series and producing the Halo series. I want to see them bring some of that panache across, and we just did not see that level of professionalism in Destiny.
Did you just say panache on my podcast?
I said panache. Yes, I did.
Panache, but I don't know if we could be friends anymore. Like the Halo series to Destiny.
No, it's not. I'm not comparing the product. I'm comparing the polish, the amount of well-rounded energy that they put into it, everything from the music to the controls to the way the plot rounded out, the writing, the voice acting, everything was on point. And there was a huge gaps in that in Destiny. I want to see them bring that same level of love to that IP. I want to see them bring that level of love to Destiny, and I haven't seen that yet. The one thing they did for us is they threw a shitload of nerd action in there. They had the Firefly, almost all of the Firefly cast in there, at least 3 or 4 members. They had Bill Nye in there. That's some good geek stuff. Yeah, Bill Nye was the speaker for the whatnot.
He was the speaker?
Yes. Where the fuck were you?
I didn't know this either.
First it was Vin Diesel as Groot, and now this.
Oh my god, I love that.
We've changed his world.
Oh my god.
Every time you're on this podcast, dude, I blow your mind at least twice. It's going to become a thing. I love you, Antony.
I love you too.
All right, we're getting some. Bro, you should see.
Really quick, I hope. Well, not hope because the AIs were kind of shitty, but they were just funny to interact with. Which was the one? Which Halo was it that you had 5 Spartans with you?
Oh,
5 Spartans.
What was it 4 or something?
DST?
No,
that wasn't Spartans.
Was it?
You're talking about Reach.
Reach. Yeah.
Yes. I remember playing through the campaign, and the AIs were so dumb. It was so fun. The Spartan AIs. At least for me, I don't know if my game was bugged or not, but it was just so funny seeing
they were pretty dumb.
No,
they were pretty dumb.
There's always those games that have the like the worst AIs, and you're just like,
Wait, you remember?
who's doing this?
Wait, who was?
They had to cut back in that game. That was one of I was watching
a game that Hector loves. I'm thinking of a game, really bad AI, military strategy shooter thing,
Halo
terrible
3 with,
AI.
Sergeant.
Wait.
Oh, but I love Halo.
Terrible AI military shooter. Hector loves it.
Yeah, the one that just came out that we liked multiplaying, but the moment you play by yourself, it's terrible.
The new Ghost Recon. God, that game's a fucking steaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Such potential.
Yeah, it could have been really cool. It just falls flat. It feels bland. Okay, again, we'll leave that for another
Tangent.
Yeah, that was a big tangent. But
We should just have a little note right here, and every time we go off on a tangent, it's like, you know what? This is good for another podcast. Write it down. Let's move on.
I should just put a timer for every 30 seconds to remind us
Yeah,
that we're on a
Just for
fucking tangent.
Kyle's peace of mind, he's going to get shock collars for all of us. And the moment we start tangenting, he's going to shock us.
Yeah, Shawn's will be on a delay, so he'll start the sentence, get about halfway through, and he'll get electrocuted.
Elizabeth will write them down.
Then you'll hear me get pissed off because I didn't get to finish the sentence.
Can't
He's
be
like,
like
son of a
BuzzFeed,
bitch.
where it's like we ran out of ideas.
Oh god, throwing shade already.
I'll never run out
Oh
of
my
ideas.
First episode on the podcast already pissed off a major company. All right, because of course BuzzFeed listens to us. All right.
I'm sorry.
So let's go ahead and continue into the next article, and this is
Actually,
now.
now listen. If we say something about feminism, they'll get all pissed off.
Oh my
and
God.
do a
There you
video.
go.
You ever piss somebody off? That's how you
Wait.
people.
BuzzFeed, listen. Feminism is awesome, and yeah, white people suck.
We love you.
First generation.
There you go. Dude, that's how
feminism is awesome. Every generation after is garbage.
You could hear the
I love
views
BuzzFeed,
piling
too.
up. I think it just crossed 1 million, and the video's not even out yet
What?
of the podcast. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead and again, but yeah, I agree. For Reach, I watched a vid doc that they've done before that they had to cut back on the AI. Like the AI in Reach is the same from the AI from like 2. Like they've had the same generations of AI over the whole.
You remember Sergeant
Does
Johnson?
anybody even
Was that his
remember
name,
playing
Sergeant
Halo
Johnson?
2? Like, I barely remember that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I just
god,
played
that was
Orlando
my
Jones.
thing.
I only play a little bit of Halo 2. I remember Sergeant
serious?
Johnson, and I also remember pissing off Sergeant Johnson on that one mission.
It was the funniest
every time you
thing.
kill him, he drops an infinite ammo Spartan laser, but then after that, he's aggroed onto you.
Well, no. You have to kill him first. Remember, like you piss him off, and then he starts firing a Spartan laser at you,
Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
pinpoint accurate. He will mess up your day. So what you do is you play multiplayer, send one person to hide in the room, and then Johnson just keeps killing you. And then once you finally whittle him down enough to kill him, then you take his Spartan laser and you can fight Guilty Spark with the Spartan laser,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and then you can
really?
finish the rest of the mission
I
with
never
it too.
had any problems with Johnson. I don't know why you guys had to.
No, we
I
didn't
never
have any
had
problems
This
with
is
him.
my
It was just
game
because
back
we
when
kept
I was
on
in
messing
elementary
with him.
school.
I read it on the internet, and I'm like, oh yeah, we should try this, and we tried it, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh god, that was awesome, dude. We had so much fun. Halo 3 were the glory days.
It was. That was a game I
was.
used to go. I would come home every day and just run home. And I'm like elementary school, like a 5th grader. I'm just like running home.
Straight up.
But I
I
remember
just
doing the
want to play Halo
glitches.
3.
Yeah,
Like,
I just want
yeah,
to
that's me.
just want to beat up kids online. Yeah, I remember it was weird. Right before I went to school, before the bus got here, our next door neighbor would come over, and he'd come like 2 or 3 hours before the bus came, and then we would sit down and just play Capture the Flag for like 3 hours before school started.
Oh yeah, Antony told me
How
about
many
that.
people could you take through the campaign? It was like, because they had designed
Four.
the campaign to be. No, but you could do a larger group.
No, it was
No.
just 4. For 3, you could just play with 4 people.
Yeah, 3 was just 4.
Was it just 4?
Yeah,
I
it
thought it
would.
was like
4.
8 or 6 or something
Oh
like that.
no! It's
No.
stopped
Playing
at
through
4.
the campaign?
Yeah, I'm
Because we
100%
brought
sure.
2 systems or 3 systems. Okay, then I guess it was 4. And I remember we played through on the hardest setting the night it came out. Like, we had 2 Xboxes set up. We had surround sound. We had put into 2 separate rooms. We waited. We took the day off from work the next day. We waited in line. We were the first people in line. We brought fried chicken and pizza. Like, got there like hours ahead of time.
Why didn't you invite me?
We had, like, it was, dude, I didn't even know you.
I knew
was like,
you.
Same. I was like, I don't
But it
know
was
you guys.
fucking, it was amazing, dude. We like they were lined up around the block for
Dude, pick that one
GameStop,
up.
and we were just chilling out front. And they got the helmet came with it or whatever. And then when we got back to my buddy's house, we had the 2 copies. We played, dude. We just got our asses, and it was supposed to be played on ultra hard with 4 people, and we got destroyed for hours. It was awesome. And that last level where the plates are breaking up underneath you, I didn't even get to see half of it.
Bro, that level was
dude,
like
the game glitched
so epic.
I fell beneath the plates and stuck in like a pylon thing that was sticking up out of the lava.
Oh yeah, you could survive a lot of those falls.
And I was stuck there. Couldn't get up. Couldn't get down. The warthog was just drilled into the wall. And they finished the game with like half the team because we couldn't get there and we couldn't get out of the warthog.
That's funny.
It was so epic.
So we
my God.
Yeah, it would have been more epic if I wasn't stuck into a fucking wall. But yeah, that was awesome.
It always sucked when like
You get
you're
like
the one that
glitched out.
Either you glitched out or like you're.
Or
the
yeah,
one that
you
died.
died. You had to
Glitches
wait.
were my thing when it came to
Yeah.
Halo, like especially playing like campaign. We used to like love doing the glitches.
I remember that one.
remember.
I remember that one level where you would like you started out in that command center, and there was a shitload of like friendly AI everywhere. And I would go and I'd piss one of them off, and then they all would aggro to you, and I would
Oh my
hide
God.
and just like murder. I was a dangerous little kid. I'd just murder all the AI, and then like
It's like Skyrim.
and then like reload the checkpoint and just could repeat the process because you didn't get the like. They were harder to fight because you didn't get like the aim assist on them and shit, and then like they threw grenade, like they had an infinite supply of grenades up their asshole that they would toss at you. All right, again, moving on because we're already a half hour into this shit and we've only done 2 articles, so let's continue.
Yeah,
gonna be like
and
last
you guys are totally at fault for that tangent. Kyle had nothing to do with it.
What?
No, it was all my fault.
No, that's not our fault.
All right, so this is for now.
Don't you
I'm
attack
pretty
my
sure.
Kyle.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that gives a shit about this. But
Sorry.
this is for the new game coming out.
No, you can attack. That's cool.
This is for the new game coming out on the Switch called ARMS. Now, at first, when I first saw this, I didn't like it
What's
because
the next topic?
what? I said we're talking about ARMS coming out on the Switch. Now, when I
was being rude and saying that your topic doesn't matter by saying what's the next topic.
Oh, okay.
I caught it.
That's
I
what
was
I was
gonna see
doing.
if you caught
Please
it.
continue.
No, I didn't catch it. Okay, I'm going to continue. Now,
Yeah.
again, like I said, I'm probably the only one that gives a shit about this. But I think this game looks cool, and it looks a lot more in depth. They are doing a public test, which I tried actually a bit of, and it's pretty much just it's like a fighting game, like Budokai, but you have the thing with you shoot out these arms and you try and hits on your opponent. There's different types of arms, different combinations that do different things. And I'm a huge ass fan of fighting games. Fucking love fighting games. I've always been a fan of fighting games. And
You never loved Injustice.
I didn't play enough of Injustice. I'm seriously
Oh.
thinking about
Hey,
getting
catch
2
it.
just to play 2 because
I'm
it looks
tired of
really
the
good.
world.
When I played 2,
I
it was
really
really,
am.
really good.
It was good because we got to test it out before anybody else did.
Okay.
I've
So
seen them bring Bloody Roar back. Does anybody know that one? Bloody Roar, the werewolf fighting game. I'd like to see that one come back.
that sounds kind of gay.
It was awesome.
Okay, that's how most of our encounters go. I say it's gay. Shawn likes it.
Yeah.
We move on. All right. So now this is Nintendo's upcoming limb-centric fighting game ARMS is shaping up to be an entertaining competitive experience for the Switch. Its design is simple and intuitive, and excitement creeps in the moment you throw a punch and realize how capable you are. The facts that ARMS characters and environments are infectiously vibrant and cheery doesn't hurt either. While ARMS seems like a simplistic brawl on the surface, its mechanics offer a subtle dose of nuance and complexity that makes it far deeper than it usually lets on. Now, again, a lot of it Nintendo, when they make their AAA titles that come straight out of Nintendo, they always do an excellent job at whatever genre they decide to make. They make sure they're kind of like the Blizzard, but for kids, kind of. They usually try and perfect whatever genre they're working for and whatever they release. Like they release Breath of the Wild, and they release a game that like almost practically shits on every other open world adventure kind of game that exists currently. So they usually try and set the bar higher every time they release a game. From what I've seen, this game looks really cool. They have up to 20-player multiplayer where they put you in like a lobby and they make games and they organize games in the lobby and then send everyone off and do games, and then you all come back to the same lobby. It looks really cool. It looks really fun. They both. Did you see the? Oh god, I just keep trying to look over at Antony when I talk to him. Did you see that most recent character thing that they released, Antony, where it was that girl and like the whole internet is flipping the fuck out because she's got like a fat ass and it's a Nintendo game?
Oh wait, I think I saw something like that on.
She has like twin tails and that's where the gloves are attached to her like hair.
No, what's her name? I'll have to look this up.
Just search up ARMS thick ass, and you'll probably find it. I guarantee you. All right, so it looks like it's coming out soon. It's another game for the Switch. Nintendo's trying to do their best to kind of fill up this lull we have in games right now until later on in the year with their games, trying to get some hype out for their games. I'm excited. I think it looks good. Again, I like fighting games. I think it will be cool.
Oh my god, I did not get a fucking picture of Nintendo. Jesus, do not do that on Google.
Would you find like fan art or something?
No, it was.
Did you find it?
Was
Anthony?
people.
Wait.
He's not even doing what I asked.
No. Arms. I was trying to get my Google app to work.
Just do Nintendo ARMS.
No, I already put arms thick ass.
ARMS thick ass. I don't know if that will bring you what exactly you're looking for.
Put game.
So make sure safe search is off. So, like I said, I'm excited.
Arms and a thick ass.
Oh, there we go. That's a bodybuilder. Okay, so we're gonna. But like I said, it looks cool. It looks like it's going to be well made. Again, Nintendo always does a good job with their quality control, making sure the games they put out are going to be good. So I'm excited to see it. And let's go ahead and move on to the next article. And now
Nintendo's not allowed to have any ounce of sexuality in their games. So
no, that's a fat ass though.
Look female.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Or I mean, I don't understand.
Just search up ARMS.
No. I saw a picture. I don't understand why people are so uptight and retarded about shit.
I mean, if you look at Zelda's ass for Breath of the Wild, she's got a fat ass too, but she's wearing like leggings or whatever. Like they have one whole.
Apparently, there are no women in the universe that happen to have a slightly larger than usual ass, so therefore, no character can have a slightly larger than usual ass. Or
I didn't say there's
all the
anything wrong with
Puritans
it.
will go fucking bananas. No, but if people going crazy, it's whatever. You know, there's going to be people complaining and.
No, that's one of the other characters. Just search up a character list or something at this point, and you'll find out her name.
I'm looking at her ass right now,
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Antony.
I don't care who you're talking to.
All right, so the next article is a free update for PS4, Xbox One's MMO Neverwinter adds new adventure in June. This is Neverwinter Shroud of Souls. It's a brand new story and a loadouts feature. So Neverwinter, an MMORPG based on the classic Dungeons & Dragons franchise, has announced the June release date for its next free update on PS4 and Xbox One. Neverwinter Shroud of Souls gives players a new adventure and new features, including a loadout function, which promises to make creating and switching out character builds easier. So, just a little synopsis of what the story will be. This next update will pit you against Morlanth, a dragonborn necromancer who's escaped from captivity beneath the River District. She will unleash the Shroud of Souls, a spectral force under her command, and seeks out spirits to act as generals in her army. And players are obviously tasked with stopping her. So, we've been playing a bit of Neverwinter. We talked about it before on the podcast. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, if you like high fantasy RPG games that are multiplayer, I'd say give it a go. It's free. There's not really too much that's behind a paywall. They have mostly if it's like cosmetic stuff. You get
mostly aesthetic.
Yeah. But I'd say give it a try. It's fun.
It's useful. I would invest in like an extra bag.
Oh yeah, having a bit more inventory space is always nice.
Spend a little bit of money on it. Yeah, if you spend a little bit of money on it, just put like $5 in or whatever, get enough to buy a bag. You'll also get a free kit from the store that gives you like a dog familiar that has a shield on its back and like some other like enchantments and shit like that. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's a good game. It's all right. It's a big for me. But if you have a feeling, if you're looking for some kind of MMO where you can play with your friends, that's entirely free. So no, your friends literally have no excuse to not get it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
It's a good game. I really like it.
Yeah. Oh, he's found the thick ass. Isn't that crazy? That's not
I don't
okay.
think it's a big deal.
I saw this on iFunny. It's like a Kardashian ass.
I've found my main. Okay, so as we get on to the next.
No, a Kardashian has a couch attached to their rear end. That is not a Kardashian.
Oh my god, never gonna get
Kardashian asses are terrifying. If they back up, you die.
All right, so moving on to the next article, we have the Mass Effect Andromeda 1.07 patch will be out, and it arrived on the 19th, which was last week, middle of the week. So
Ask Perry about it.
This is Eddie Makic of GameSpot.
Is that Perry? Yeah, are you cheating on? You cheating on Perry?
Who's cheating on Perry? I don't know what you're talking about. We're just a bunch of heterosexual men over here.
Metero? We're meterosexuals now?
Yeah. You don't remember who fucking trains? You know, keeping it live, keeping it lovely, and keeping it just a little bit gay. That should be our intro or something like that. That should be our new intro. Jingle. Yeah, keeping it live, keeping it lovely, keeping it slightly gay.
Just a little bit
I feel like
gay.
that would offend a lot of people.
Offend a lot of people?
Yeah, that could offend people.
All 15 that actually watched the show.
Are they like Pootie Pie now?
No, we got like 30 views on like one of the things.
We do get 30 views, but I look at the analytics and our average watch time is like 9 minutes.
Because we live in a generation where our attention span is literally a minute.
Yeah, I'll take it. If you guys watch for 30 seconds, give us a like and drop a comment, I'll suck your dick.
But you have to put like the times of like what you talk about.
But not in a gay way.
Yeah, that'd be a pain in the ass now that I think about it.
But people do that.
Yeah, I understand where you're going at. I'd have to figure out something and set that up in the description. We'll get it working. Let's get it on podcasting services first. Now we'll worry about that. Okay, so a new patch has landed for BioWare's Mass Effect Andromeda, but don't expect it to do much. Now that should be like the mod. That should be slapped on the front of the game case. Don't expect much for when you pick up Mass Effect Andromeda. Don't expect much. So the new 1.07 update is various bug fixes and stability improvements. Now everyone on the internet knows how bad the launch for Andromeda was. The game is just mediocre at best, and as we continue to move forward, they're working on patching it out. We know that they're working on a new IP as a whole as well, so hopefully that goes a bit better. But they kind of just threw Mass Effect to the sidelines, so they're working on patching it out, making it better. I've seen that they've made improvements to the cutscenes, so Sarah Ryder doesn't look like a fucking frog 90% of the time she's in game. So it's good to see that they're actually working on updating the game. You don't have characters that look lifeless with dead eyes and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what they continue to do. I stopped playing it entirely until I like finish Persona and everything else, and I get some type of like kind of space in between before like Destiny 2 comes. If I ever get that space, and then I might eventually pick it back up. But that's a huge might. Never know.
Well, when are they projecting for Destiny 2? September?
No, summer.
No,
summer
the beta is summer,
the beta
but
is summer.
it's Destiny. When does Antony, do me a favor? When does Destiny 2 come out?
All right, I shall.
You're my
Well,
my,
don't forget he got
assistant.
lost in trying to use Google last time. So
Yeah, he did. He couldn't find out the ass.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, Google.
you may need to
Oh my god.
No, it's Cortana. No. Hey, Siri.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Google.
Look, she even did it.
No.
Doesn't
We're just
Samsung
oozing
have a new one?
professionalism.
Biggie or Biggles or something.
Oh my god.
What did you want me to look for again?
Like last week we had, when does Destiny 2 release? Like last week we had fucking Antony and Caitlin playing Mario Kart in the middle of the Persona 5 discussion. So
Yeah.
Hey Siri.
one thing you'll never find here is professionalism. I guarantee that. So
Oh god, you need to tell the audience what your mom said to Caitlin.
about what? To be wary
About
of
me.
you fucking pedophile.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What
my
did you say?
my mom listened to the podcast and she's like, "How old is this Shawn man?" I'm like,
put
"Oh, he's like in
Disney.
his. How old are you, Shawn? Like in your 30s, right?"
Yeah.
That's what I told her. And then she's like, "Oh, watch out for him, Kaylin."
Oh.
I'm like, "Yeah, he's gonna
Oh,
molest
yeah,
her over
'cause-
the air." Yo,
Yeah,
we
'cause I
gotta be.
said what
Mom, if you're
two
listening, I'm
sentences.
sorry.
Here, it's right here. September 8th, 2017. It would,
September 8th.
September
September
8th.
8th.
We love you, Mom.
Why'd they pick that date?
You're just doing your job.
It's just September 8th. That's when they decided to release the game. It's right after summer,
You can't
and it's working
release
into the
it.
So
fall.
was I right? I was right. All
Yeah,
right,
it was
cool.
in September. Yeah, you're right. Okay, next article. We're shotgunning through them now. All right, so this is a new Life is Strange game has been officially announced.
Ooh, oh my god, I love that game.
Don't Nod has
That was a
released.
good game.
Yeah, Don't Nod has released a video officially confirming that a new Life is Strange game is in the works. This is by Alex
Oh,
Newhouse
yeah.
of GameSpot. The new Life is Strange game is currently in the works. Developer Don't Nod confirmed today in a video. The developers expressed their thanks to the community that had brought the original Life is Strange and announced they are now working on a follow-up. In addition, they received over 3 million people. Oh, they revealed that over 3 million people had purchased the first game. So they didn't give any details, but they said that they are working on it. This is quote from Which developer? Shit. Okay, one of the developers quoted that we can't wait to tell you all about it when the time is right. But for now, we are hard at work ensuring it is the very best game we can create. We're really thankful for your patience thus far and ask for a bit more time. So yeah, I haven't played it. I've watched a playthrough of Life is Strange. It's a very good game, very good story, very interesting premise to it.
Don't tell me what happens at the end.
I'm not saying.
Don't know.
No spoilers.
You
on the
haven't
podcast.
played the entire game?
I haven't played it, and I watched, and the only way I found out about
they
it.
don't do the episode release thing. I'm so tired of seeing games do that format. Just do the whole game and release it all at once.
Oh my god!
Well, it keeps
I
people
feel
waiting.
You,
I mean, I kind of
feel
like the fact that they did that with like
I don't like
games like
I don't
that,
know. I
like
don't
Life is Strange,
I want
all
things
the
like
Telltale
Piece of
games.
it, and then
We all impatient. Man. I
get
don't know what you're
shit.
talking
And
about.
gotta go back.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because it kind of gives me more time to like play other games while like
Antony, nobody cares what you like. This is all about what I like.
Damn, he's right though.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony.
You made my co-host
Just
cry.
kidding.
Made my co-host cry. What the fuck is wrong with you, Sean?
Okay, Shawn.
All right.
It's okay if it's Shawn.
Yeah, Sean has free reign to do whatever he wants.
God.
It's. How do you pronounce this? Don't nod.
Don't nod.
Don't nod. Entertainment.
Yeah,
developers.
don't nod.
Yeah, those are the developers.
Japanese, right? Aren't they? It's
no.
a Japanese team,
Don't
isn't it?
nod.
No, what the fuck? They're not
I thought
Japanese.
Don't Know was a Japanese team.
No, they
No,
are
it's
not.
a developer.
Obviously it's a developer, but it's the developers, the team of developers.
Yeah.
I couldn't find out the one that quoted that saying I was trying to read. I know it's Don't Not. I read that it was Don't
Square Enix is publishing it. I know that much.
Oh,
Are they? Oh, that's pretty
they did the first one, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So let's go on to the next event. Okay, we have a video that teases the new Overwatch anniversary event and that they are bringing out
Woo woo.
new arena maps, which sounds interesting. Blizzard is obviously sneak peek. You can find it on their Twitter. So you guys head over to the Twitter when you hear this. They show a new map which takes inspiration from Dorado and Eichenwalds and the Temple of Anubis. It's currently available in the game. They have they always do their PTR, the public test realm. So they have an arena mode update. So they're going to be adding more stuff. We're always excited to see more Overwatch. They're doing their anniversary event. It's right around the corner. They have some skins that have been leaked that some people have seen, and it's always just a huge event. Everyone gets super fucking excited every time something gets leaked or there's a new thing teased. So definitely excited for that. Arena, for everyone who doesn't know, that's the 3v3s and 1v1s. So we won't be playing in Maze. Sean,
Well, remember.
God, just sit still. You're gonna talk for 2 hours.
That's me
It's
too.
a dog
That's me too,
that's
Sean.
stretching.
So
I can't stay still either.
So it's basically new 3v3s, 1v1 maps. So that's exciting as well. We won't be playing in Maze, a
Ice
little
castle
ice castle
thing.
Oh, but
forever.
Actually, I'm super happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm also super happy about the new dance intro things.
Oh yeah, they're adding
I'm
new
so
dance
excited about
emotes and
that.
stuff like that. So that's exciting. Again, all this comes from data mining. The community's crazy. So
Dance emotes are like
Well,
the
have you
jewel
seen
among
Lucio's?
games.
I want
Lucio.
Reinhardt pole dancing. I am not going to stop until they give me a Reinhardt pole dance emo.
Oh my
'Cause
god!
that shit needs to
yes.
That would be pretty epic.
precision German engineering.
Yes.
All right.
I really like Sombra's dance little thing. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I just thought about it, but I was
It reminds me of shuffling. That's
I was supposed to say it earlier on, but yo, I want to do some shout outs real quick because we had
Well, we had some comments. didn't
we had actual comments. We had two beautiful ass people actually take the time to let us know about what's going on that we thought, and it happened on the Destiny video that was 2 weeks ago, episode 3. So shout out if you guys ever do hear this again. Shout out to NCS Sounds and Destiny Supercell. You guys are fucking awesome. Thanks for taking the time to give us some feedback. And any of you out there now, if you have anything, again,
Good or bad.
if you have anything you want us to say or shout out on the podcast, let us know. Send it either in Discord or even leave a comment and just let us know that you want it read on the podcast, and we'll do you that favor. You know, I'm not afraid to get a little kiss-assing going on. Anything to...
Assassin. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
I laughed a little bit. I was looking at
He ain't too proud to
Zariah's
beg.
skin.
Zarya?
Zarya.
Zarya.
That's what I say.
Zarya?
What's her name again?
Zarya.
Zarya. It's because I never play. I
Zarya.
never
Holy
play
shit.
her. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at her new skin, and I think it's kind of funny.
A lot of
But I'm a support main. Okay,
the new skins are pretty shit.
they are really shit a little bit. Look. I mean, I do like.
I don't know what the hell they're
Wait,
going for.
Who's that?
It's Soldier 76.
Yeah, they look like robotic and stuff.
It looks
It's weird.
kind of cool though. It's robotic. I'm looking for Symmetra though.
All right.
Sorry. Symmetra main.
Another problem that we have is we talk over each other way too much. You know how hectic that shit sounds?
Oh, it sounds crazy.
It
can-
sounds so dumb.
You can. I mean.
Yeah, but all
that's good.
podcasts are like that, man. Unless they're sitting right next to each other and they flag each other down to stop talking.
Well, I mean, it's not like a continued
Just gonna
5 to
have
10
deal,
seconds.
Kyle. God.
No, I will work. I will
I don't know
strive.
what you guys are talking about.
will strive.
Oh no.
I will strive for audio perfection because that's the
It's
only way
okay.
people will continue to listen. All right.
Strive for
So
that.
this is the next article. We have South Park: The Fractured Butthole release date confirmed.
Wait,
What?
one more time?
The Fractured Butthole.
The fractured
Okay.
butthole.
Star Park. South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Star
Because
Fox.
I thought you said Star Fox the first time.
did I say Star Fox?
Is it
Fuck.
Star Fox? The
Star
fractured
Fox?
butthole?
Whatever. Dyslexia. Eat my ass. All right. So
It is not Lexticia.
So the Lexticia, the Fractured Butthole, will be available from October 17th across North America, Europe, and Middle East and Asia. To coincide with the release date announcement, a new trailer focused on the farting vigilante has also been released. Shawn, you're going to talk while I read my fucking article?
Maybe.
Swear to God, I'm about to come over there and show you a thing or two.
I'm sorry.
All right, so the trailer's up. You guys can see it online. And I liked the first game a lot. I thought it was actually pretty funny.
I like the.
I love
the Stick of Truth.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
South Park a lot. I
Yeah,
like
it's
the
good.
parody aspect to it. It's really cool seeing that stuff. So I'm excited for this game. I know it got delayed, so everyone was worried if it was ever going to come out. But we're excited. We have a release date now, and it is in October on the 17th. So that's cool. And let's go ahead and we have. Oh Jesus! What's going on? Look at that.
What
I
did
did.
you? Oh,
What did
Jesus.
you do?
Oh, what'd you do?
I
Oh.
did split screen on my phone. All right, fix that for me.
Apple.
Oh
I'm
God.
just saying.
Oh God. I
Oh,
don't know.
God. Do you have an Apple fangirl?
No.
You know what? I'm a
Here, I'm gonna
developer,
fix it.
and I
I
actually
fixed
prefer
it. I
Apple
fixed it.
than Android. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, that's it.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
because you don't know all the aspects to it, and also because I know the company, but you don't know the aspects of the Apple iPhone.
Yeah, you don't know the aspects, Shawn.
Like you don't know all the stuff that goes into it, and I think I really like it. I really like just their company values.
All right, cool. Apple's a
Yeah,
cool
you
company to
can-
work for, guys. All right.
I still think they're controlling assholes when it comes to their property, though.
Yeah, it is true. That's the only
Wasn't
thing
it
I hate
Apple
about
that
it.
sued Samsung over some of the having
the curve edges?
like similarities on the phones?
Of course, but
Okay, they could suck a dick. All right, and the next article is the Switch still is kicking ass in the United States.
is it still sold out though? Because
Oh
I
yeah,
don't have one.
they're freaking. They can't to meet with demand. They're sending them over on planes, and that's like one of the most expensive ways to ship shit.
Oh, shit.
Compared to
Yeah,
like
that
boats,
is.
they're trying to meet demand, but and especially with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out, it's just they've sold so many. So Nintendo, citing NPD data, Nintendo said that Switch sales have topped 280,000 units in the U.S. during April, making it the month's #1 system. It's
280 units.
It's the second 280,000.
Okay,
It's the second month in a row that's been the case, as it was also the top seller during its debut in March. So it sold around 500,000 units in 2 months, which is
That's
crazy.
insane.
If it keeps that up, it will probably it could easily.
Be the main system.
Well, it could not main
Well,
system,
not
but it
main,
could
but-
No, it can't. It's
Everyone
not
the
main.
majority of the people would have
Yeah.
a Switch.
it could catch
It's
back.
still not a hardcore gaming system. And
No.
one of these days, we're going to have a whole conversation about the Switch and the ups and downs, and
Yeah.
I'll
let's
go
make
into
that
Nintendo's
next time.
history like we talked about before. That other subject that I'm going to go into, but I don't know, man. I'll buy the system when they release it with an actual controller.
They have a fucking controller for it, dude.
$70.
Yeah, that's how the Wii Pro controllers were before.
Okay, but we're gonna get on this on
It's
another
ridiculous.
podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Because I know I have some stuff to say about that.
Bro, like a PlayStation controller is what? 55?
No, it's like 20.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
it's
50.
60
It
bucks.
is?
It's like
What-
50 or $60 for a PlayStation 4 controller.
$59.99. It's the same price as a game.
Okay. But that's like I don't know. I think the Pro
But
controllers
the
that they
fucking
make.
system comes with one.
Yeah, I know that. But the Pro controllers they make are excellent, I'd say. I don't have one, but I had the ones for the Wii U. Like the battery life is like 45 hours of
Oh
playtime.
my god.
And like those things are made like made out of titanium. Like I've dropped them so much and I haven't had any issues with the sticks gliding or anything like that.
So
All
I
right.
could rage all I want.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
not
much.
gonna break.
That you'd probably break more architecture in your house before you break this.
Well, remember all the Xbox 360
Architect-
controllers I broke?
Oh, but Xbox 360 breaks so easily.
Yeah.
It's because Xbox hires somebody to build it for the lowest amount. They do it like NASA. It's all built by the lowest bidder.
All right, so on the software side, getting back into the article, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the month's top-selling game with over 460,000 physical copies sold.
Oh, it's a cancer game.
Bear in mind, the game only launched on April 28th, and the report for April only tracks sales through April the 29th. So combined with digital sales, it topped 550,000 units sold. So they are making a fuckload of money. I have a copy. It's fun to play. And I like that you can, like, if you have a friend and you're out somewhere, just straight up pop off the Joy-Cons and you can play.
I really like that fact. Like, I really like it.
I'm gonna wait on another version though. Just
Of what, Mario Kart?
No, and the Switch.
Oh, another version. What do you mean, like a second Switch or like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, like an update.
But I don't want to go into the topic because I know that's gonna be for another podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's talking about like how like kind of like with like the MacBook Airs or like something like that, where like once they first came out, they were like pretty shit, but now like they completely rearranged like hardware in it, so it's the same MacBook Air, but there's just different. It's made
different
differently.
hardware. That's what I
she's
kind of
talking
waiting
about.
for.
I don't know if they'll ever release like a
They will.
eventually we'll get another console from them, but I don't know if they'll do anything like that.
I'm
They've
sure
never done
they
anything like that
minor
before.
Hardware changes. Yeah, but they've never done a tablet before, man. This is a total different ball game.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, they
I
have
don't like the
they.
memory problem.
It's like a bigger
Yeah.
3DS, and the 3DS they've released different iterations of the 3DS.
3DS wasn't a tablet, right? They released
But
updated
it's
hardware.
like designed to be a mobile system, something you take with you, like the 3DS. I don't
Still
give
a
a fuck
tablet,
if it's in
dude.
a tablet form. What the hell does that have to do with
Tablet gets
anything?
a new revision every year or two. I guarantee you they're going to make some changes.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
because technology's evolving, so it's evolving every day.
Well, not just that, but like you just make improvements on like the thing. Like
Just
you realize a
run
flaw
cooler
and like you
thing.
just kind of like improve on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
did
don't
that
know
with
if they're
all
gonna
their
do it like
systems.
Kyle
You might
said.
buy a Nintendo that looks the same, but inside they'll have made some minor changes.
But I understand
Sometimes
that.
it's just in changes in manufacturing.
Yeah, I understand that because they do that with everything. That's not what I thought we were talking about, like a whole new iteration of the system.
No, not
like
at all.
minor changes.
Well, obviously they do that with fucking everything. Like
Yeah, well,
a year.
considering I think somebody said minor changes before you overreacted, I'm just saying a little bit of listening skills.
Oh my god.
We didn't say that. I straight up asked the question. Do you mean like another Switch?
Anthony said
whatever.
she
Whatever.
means minor changes like with the MacBook Air.
Did you just smack the? What did you? Did
I
you
just
smack?
I smacked the pop filter.
Oh god damn it! All right,
that's gonna get picked
So
up.
the next article, obviously, you could fart a mile away and it'll be picked up. All right, Pokemon Go's next event announced. This is now I know no one gives a shit about Pokemon Go anymore, but I found this interesting that they're still doing stuff for it, still trying to keep it strong. They're having a Pokemon Go Adventure Week that will begin on the 18th of May, which passed.
Okay, moving on.
Wait.
Moving
We're still in the week. We're still in the
We're
week.
still in the week.
Yeah, we're still in the week.
You'll see
It
more-
started on the 18th.
You'll see more rock-type Pokemon show up in the
right there.
game world more often. Some creatures like Ammonite, Kabuto, Aerodactyl, and Onix, as well as Sudowoodo, and their evolved forms. And there are a greater addition or a greater number of rock types, more Pokestops. Buddy Pokemon receive more candy, and you could get an adventure hat for your avatar. It will end on the 25th, so we have 4 days, people. Get out there, go catch some Pokemon. Don't get hit by any cars. If you're still enjoying the game,
You just
How
didn't
I
say
smacked the
anything.
fucking
There
pop
are people
filter.
who still play that game because we still have a
And
friend
for
of ours
God's
that plays
sakes,
it.
don't do it in a church in Russia.
Oh yeah, God forbid you get sentenced. I've heard that he didn't actually receive any jail time, but he has other punishments on top of that. But there was a man that was he was filming himself playing Pokemon Go in a church, and they said that it
They threw
basically
the fucking book at him.
yeah, they got mad at him and said he was like defiling their religion and like defaming it and shit like that, and so they pressed charges, and they actually now this is such a good. I'm so happy I live in the United States of America where
I'm so
shit like
happy.
this wouldn't happen as easily.
Well, first of all, playing Pokemon Go in a church is a dick move, but
And
fucking
recording
man,
it.
just because
Like, it
they're-
was-
yeah, but just because the church is offended by what you've done, they can sue you. No, there's
And it
no
goes
way,
through.
dude. No way.
It's stupid.
And no self-respecting church is going to do that kind of shit anyway. But in Russia, shit's fucking crazy. In Mother Russia, that shit's bananas over there right now, man. Ever since Putin took over, that place has been going bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
Putin's fun to make
Was the
fun
guy
of.
Russian or was it like someone
no, it
else
was
like from here?
he was Russian.
He's a
okay.
Russian
Oh,
YouTuber.
okay. Oh,
He's a Russian YouTuber, and he was
yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that he was filming in there.
I
They
think so.
they said that there were some kind of
Well, he
defaming
also made a
comments made.
joke.
Yeah, they said there
Yeah,
were
he made
defaming
some
comments that he
Jesus
made.
jokes or something.
Yeah, Jesus jokes. Yeah, nothing gets me riled
Yeah.
up like a good old Jesus joke.
Jesus.
That makes me feel bad that like I somewhat believe. Like, how can we believe in the same thing, and then you go and do that shit to someone that's like
Well,
a human?
dude, you
I
gotta
don't know.
remember, people are people. Just because I'm somewhere between agnostic and Christian. I'm not always certain where I stand with things, but there is a good way to live your life, and then there's people who take things to zealotry. And you have your standard atheist who respects other people's beliefs but doesn't share them, and then you've got atheists that run around spewing hate shit at Christians. You got
And tipping their
Christians who
fedoras.
don't judge and don't fucking run around saying horrible things to people about them going to hell. And then you've got the Westboro Baptist Church, which is full of cocksuckers. So, I mean, you got both sides of the coin. And the problem is who's louder? The ones who are behaving themselves and being good people, or the assholes? It's the assholes that are always louder. So people always think that the majority of people are like that when they're not.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also
I mean,
what
fuck,
like.
dude.
They're also the ones that get reported on more often. Like every group, every movement has its extremists, but they're the ones that also get reported because they're more vocal and they get more attention from. Just like news is just about the TV ratings, the clicks, and people want that, like they want to see like, ooh, there's some shit, we got some gossip going on, I need to see this and stuff. You see more about that, you get more clicks from that, and news stations they recognize that. That's why they jump on that shit so fast. But that's why there's a lot of good that happens on both sides of any movement. Good and bad, and it's just the bad gets reported more because it gets more attention from people in general.
And a lot of people will use a movement to their own advantages. They'll claim membership just to further some sort of personal agenda. So
Yeah, like
that's why I
Hillary
watch
Clinton
Philip
dabbing
DeFranco,
on Ellen.
hashtag Philip DeFranco, because I like his form of news as opposed to the garbage that's on all the major media outlets now.
Yeah,
That's free promo for you, Mr. DeFranco. You love me.
yeah.
Wait, how did we get here? What article?
We were
on?
talking about the Russian thing. That wasn't
Oh,
an
okay,
article.
okay.
That was a
Oh, because the Pokemon Go
I
event.
made
Yeah,
a passing
Pokemon Go.
reference that turned into a discussion.
yeah.
That's
so
how we roll here, people.
final thing we're going to talk about before we move on to our main topic is recently season 2 started in For Honor. Now, again, that's another thing that no one here gives a fuck about. I do. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing with Jonathan. You guys have seen him on the podcast before. He did the Waluigi joke. So if you remember the Waluigi thing, that was Jonathan. We've been playing. It's so funny playing For Honor with Jonathan because he's such a rager. He gets so fucking mad.
I love this raging.
And like just being in the same party with him and listening to him, it's like you feel bad for him, but you also feel like you're watching a boy grow into a man because you're watching him learn how to play his character and get good and get better at For Honor. But the game has a shitload of problems with it. The new characters are somewhat stronger than the rest of the party, but I like, again, big fan of fighting games. I like For Honor. I like the whole premise of it. And the two new characters we have are Shinobi and Centurion. Centurion's a Roman soldier. I think he's part of the Knights class, and Centurion is, or Did I just say that backwards? Did I just say Shinobi? I don't know.
You did.
You did.
Okay.
I was
you
like,
guys
what?
got to catch me on that. Shinobi is part of the the samurai class, and he's like a ninja. And Centurion's part of the knights, and he's a Roman soldier. So they both have their own strengths. They're very. Whereas Centurion's he's like brawler-esque. He's all about getting in your face, and he does a fuckload of damage off of one combo. And then Shinobi's all about not being near you, and if he is near you, he's very fast and he's very quick to fuck you up. So I've played against both of them quite a bit. My main's Radar, so I always end up having trouble with people that attack quickly, just because I'm Raider, and Raider has issues with that. But I'm working on getting adjusted to them. They're really not as bad once you learn what you need to do, which applies to every fighting game. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun watching Jonathan deal with it too, because he's not a fighting game fan. He just likes the For Honor IP as a whole, like the whole idea behind it. So it's cool, watching him grow.
I'm a fighting game fan, and I just don't like For Honor. I like the idea behind it. I just don't like the execution.
Well, you also played the whole time you played. You didn't even know that the game was telling you which direction to block in. So I don't know how valid that opinion is.
Every opinion I have is valid.
Okay. Yeah, remember, it's all about Shawn. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen.
All about the Shawn.
All right, so that was our news section. That was pretty much everything we had to talk about in news for today. So I'm going to go ahead, and this time I'm going to let Shawn introduce our main topic, and we'll go ahead and basically give our ideas on that. So what are we talking about today, Shawn? What are we working towards?
Our main topic is kind of like looking at our own experiences and our own ideas on where gaming's come from and where we think it's going, and what elements of tech and the way that we play games and the way that we interact with games and other gamers, where we want to see it go. That's all there is to it, really.
Yeah,
personally speaking, I've had the privilege of watching things evolve from, when I was very young, before I even really understood what gaming was. I dinked around with a Pong machine a couple of times and had some experience with Atari and got addicted to Atari. But when you played Nintendo, it was such a whole new world for me. It blew my mind. And I was all, when I was younger in the late 80s, it was huge NES fan, moved into Super Nintendo 64, branched out into PlayStation and started growing with that. Those two consoles, went back, picked up a bunch of retro consoles, had a TurboGrafx 16, Dreamcast, and so I've seen where games have come from. I've seen how they've evolved, and and now obviously in the media, there's a lot of hate going towards like microtransactions and games being released unfinished and you having to download a patch just to play it. We've had some side discussions relating to those type of things, and how gaming as we play it, being hardcore gamers playing on consoles or computers, and how that's been affected by the mobile gaming market. You have a perfect example in the Switch. So what I'd like to talk about is to see, what our feelings are and where gaming's come from and where we see it going and what we would like to see continue, maybe what we'd like to see change.
Yeah, I feel where you're coming from as well. And I think a good way to start this whole discussion is where we started, kind of like how we became gamers as a group amongst all of us. And I'll go ahead and actually have Antony start. Antony, what was your first gaming experience, and how did that evolve, kind of, as you would say?
I guess I started gaming like really, really early, because at the time I lived a while in Japan, and like since my dad was like a baseball player, he would always get like free stuff, and at the time, it was Japan, so they got everything first, and I guess my first gaming experience was, the original Game Boy, like with Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it was Pokemon, because I don't think my dad knew much of video games, and I'm pretty sure the thing that he heard the most was Pokemon, so that's probably why he got it. So it was the Game Boy with Pokemon. That was my first.
The old brick Game Boy, the gray one with the green screen?
Yeah, the one without like no light, no nothing, just Game Boy.
Nice.
That one. I think that was my first gaming experience. I was too young to remember it, like my first memorable gaming experience would have to be the Game Boy Color. That one I do remember. So, and it was yellow. It was a yellow Game Boy Color. But
All right, so you started in with portable gaming.
yeah, portable gaming for sure.
All right.
Well, we moved
What
a
about
lot
you, Elizabeth?
because we were going around and stuff, and it was portable most of the time.
Well, one of the first consoles actually used to play was PlayStation 2.
Wow, PlayStation 2 is your start? Like, well, start. Like, the first thing
what
you...
got
It was-
into gaming.
Oh no! What
Like,
got
what
me
was
into
your-
gaming? It would have to be the PlayStation 2 because I remember every day I would play this game. I forgot, but if you remember this game, it was a long time ago. It was like with the Firefly and like a little dragon.
Spyro.
Spyro,
What?
yeah. Sorry, I forgot about Spyro.
Yeah.
Don't
That
even
was a
know
game
that
I used to play
Spyro
all the time. It was Spyro and
disappoint.
Tomb Raider.
Wait, Tomb Raider?
Sorry, Tomb Raider.
What'd you say? Did you say-
Raider. I said Tomb Raider.
How do we go from Spyro to Tomb Raider?
I don't even know. Those are the
I
game
don't
shit.
know. I
Which,
played
which
the,
Spyro
like,
was it?
Oh, okay.
I think I had like a lot of Spyros.
No, which one? Because I played
wait,
Spyro
hold
on the PS2,
I'm gonna
and
Google it.
I'm kind of curious to see
I'm
which one
gonna
you played.
Google it.
I gotta Google that one. Spyro. I know, but it was. And then from there on, I think it was to Halo, to the Xbox, and then Halo 1, Halo 2 were the.
So you have no remembrance of... Or remembrance,
you did it too.
You're stupid is rubbing off on me. So you...
I'm sorry.
So you don't-
No, it's me.
No, so you don't remember anything before the PlayStation 2. Like, you didn't have an NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, none of that.
Because I had to remember, I think when the time I was playing PlayStation 2, what year was that?
Borf. PlayStation 2 was released in... Shit.
Well, okay, it had to be this one.
Enter the Dragonfly? Yeah, I remember that one.
So like
Put it on there.
2002, and I'm pretty young still. I'm still like, I'm pretty like sure I'm still in kindergarten.
That was what,
Yeah, it's
15 years ago, almost 16. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, the PlayStation 2 was, I like to think of in terms of perfection and being balanced and having a good selection of games, was up there with the Super Nintendo for me, which, I came, like a half generation or so before you. So I think that the PlayStation 2 would have been a perfect thing to start with. That's a perfect intro because there was so much good stuff on the PS2 to choose from.
Yeah, there was. I mean, you had Rayman. I remember Rayman.
Oh, Rayman. I
Rayman
love that
was so
series of
good.
games.
The photo.
The
old
Jack-
Grand Theft Autos.
The one I remember that and you would have to like do the level so you can open up the map more.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, the Jack series was awesome, which was like Naughty Dog's start on gaming as a whole. Those games were cool. I like those. We had Ratchet and Clank, Final Fantasy.
10,
Oh man,
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
Really
Hearts,
good.
Devil May Cry. Yeah, the Devil May Cry series
Devil May
started on the
Cry.
PlayStation 2.
Oh man.
Budokai Tenkaichi.
So good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all you had
So
to
many
say.
good JRPGs, Shadow Hearts. There's a lot of good stuff on there, man. They had a lot of stuff that you didn't even have to have
Mortal Kombat started a
imported
long time
over.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
Mortal
sorry.
Kombat was.
Oh Jesus.
I was thinking,
Christ.
what
That's
game was
why
I
I
thinking
freaking it
of?
was there.
For that reason, I'm keeping my PS2 and my GameCube. Like,
I gotta go buy another one.
Oh,
But yeah, what about you, Kyle? When did you kind of kick into it? We had one person that came in through Game Boy. We got one that came in through PS2. When did you get the bug?
I want to say NES because we used to go to my grandma's a shitload, and a lot of the gaming I did was over at my grandma's house, which is really weird because she had like better shit than we did sometimes. For whatever reason, she had an NES, which I found the oddest, but I started there, and then later on, eventually she had like a really good PC for some reason as well, so I played PC games over at her house as well, which is my start to PC, which was just an excellent opening as well. But I'd say NES. I remember original Mario. I remember fucking fiddling around with that stupid ass Duck Hunt gun. Just like all of that at the beginning. There was Mission Impossible. I remember playing on the NES. Mario I already said Mario. The original Legend of Zelda, which just was my biggest triumph I could ever say. I could probably say my biggest gaming triumph as a whole was beating the original Legend of Zelda. Getting through that entire game without any walkthroughs or anything like that. Just fucking fiddling around and just really discovering the world as a whole and trying to understand what does what and what goes where. So I found that as a whole was my introduction to gaming. I thought that was cool, and then eventually I did get the Game Boy and I got into Pokemon, and that's where it kind of became a love. Because the Nintendo, I could say Mario, because I fucking loved Mario. They'd have to pull me off that damn TV to go play, to go eat dinner or anything like that. Every time we went over to Grandma's house, it was always getting on and playing Mario.
This is still for the NES.
Oh, yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah, the original Mario Brothers.
Okay.
It was NES. Or I think it was called Mario.
I told you in another podcast, I used to go into an arcade and actually spend a lot of money just to play it in the arcades because I didn't have a Nintendo because we were poor.
Yeah.
I understand the love of Mario extremely.
Yeah, I think my grandma was also the one that first got me she got me a 64 for Christmas. That was one of the presents I received from her. I think it was a chip in from the whole family, but they went and got me a 64 when that shit released. And I remember playing Mario 64 and I'm like, what the fuck? This is so real. I've never seen anything like this. Look at all those polygons.
Effects. Do you remember like when they had that liquid silver metal effect that was so stunning on that system? Like you jump into the pool or jump into the mirror and it would ripple and it'd have that liquid.
Oh my god!
Kind of
That
thing going
was
on.
the coolest.
Bro,
I thought it was
Right?
the coolest. Yes, I thought that was like amazing. That blew my mind.
wait, let's do a little tangent right here. Now, can we all agree that when Mario was going to get Peach's cake, that was probably the most sexual thing?
Oh my god!
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He was getting that pussy. I'm glad we had pop filters, but that's what Mario was trying to get. And what did he get?
He's like, la 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 la, I can't hear you, innocent.
What didn't he? Geez, what did he only get like a kiss at the end, Mario?
Did he?
At the end of 64?
Yeah.
He gets a kiss at the end of every Mario game where he rescues the princess.
Not all the games. You haven't played the that one Mario game that I played that was on the computer.
You're not talking about the educational ones, are you?
No, I'm fucking with you.
Oh God.
Do you think they had Mario Dojinshi, Anthony?
Yes, they do.
Get on that.
I'm almost positive.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, Dojinshi or like
Dojinshi. I'm sure there's Rule 34. I want to see a Dojinshi though. Like, give me a story.
I got you.
Get on that. I want to see that. All right. I have
Moving on from the tangent. We've got an idea where everybody came from. I popped on, it was Mario that made me want a Nintendo. And all my friends, I went over to people's houses and became friends with people just to play their Nintendo. There was this kid that was down the street from where I'm standing right now, Jason, who was kind of a dick. But I hung out with him anyway because he had a Nintendo. And I kept trying to play that Jaws game thinking it would get better.
Shawn, I'm sorry. But an update on the Google search. We found Mario Dojinshi, but it's it's Mario Yowie Dojinshi. Oh no, that's Dr. Mario and Bowser.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that is disgusting.
That's so weird.
Oh my god.
This is why you never let Antony look up anything. Anytime he does, it's got inside out assholes and six dicks.
No! No!
Okay.
I didn't want to see that.
That's
Moving on.
Dude,
Let's
Bowser's
talk
got
about-
quite the penis.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Moving on.
Bowser's got quite the penis. That's what you're starting this off with.
Well, I'm going to start off at the moment we got the update.
And then no, I'm saying the clip for the beginning. It's him screaming, and then you saying Bowser's got quite the penis. That's the opening right there.
There you go. You should just make that like the intro.
God.
Oh man, that was okay. So
You asked.
Oh,
I did ask, and we did get answers.
You did receive.
I'd rather have seen
Okay.
Princess Peach.
We're
Anytime
gonna
he
be
asks you to
looking
look
this
up
up.
anything that involves illustrations, you are no longer allowed to be the one to look that up. It has to be someone else. Because every time you look something
It's my
up,
job.
there's inside out assholes and dicks.
He's got like the worst luck with
Every
it,
time.
man. That's really weird. All right.
It's his mojo, dude. He summons them to him.
It just
This is Mojo?
happens. It just happens.
All right.
Yeah,
So
He walks
excited?
into a room and porn will find him. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't understand.
Yep.
Really?
crazy stuff.
Yep.
So we talked about where we all started. So
Right? And where do you want to see it go?
Yeah.
What tech do you like? What tech do you want to see go away? What business models do you want to see go away? Or what do you like about business models that might seem to be, currently unpopular?
All right. I have one that I'm going to present right off the bat. One that I want to see is I want a change, something that they instate as a whole, that where they come and every game that's about to be released that has just gone gold, right? That they send a team of people there to look at the game in depth and tell them whether or not they're able to continue after going gold or not, or like right before they go gold and like allow them to go gold. And what that means as a term is that the game is completely done. There's no way it could be pushed back, and that it's ready to be burned on the disc and shit like that. So I want someone to show up at these companies' front doors and inspect this game, and if it looks anything like Mass Effect Andromeda did, they send it back 5 years and tell them to keep working on it, kiddo. I want a better quality control. That's my biggest thing. Like how you said earlier, I don't want a game that has to be patched on the first day for it to work. I want them, like, how fucking hard is it to get a couple of gamers into your development team building and have them sit through a game and test it for a week? That's not hard. Have them report their any bugs they find, any issues they have with the game. Get the community's feedback. That's why I love the idea of having betas for games in general. Community betas. People can play this game and give you exactly what they feel your game needs. The people that be buying it, exactly what you need to do to fix this game so that you can make it a better game or attract a larger fan base. Like what happened to Andromeda. Even just recent with Prey. Now, Prey was not a bad game in any way, shape, or form, but it's Arcane. They do a shitty job at making first-person anything. Like the Dishonored series as a whole had really shitty input lag on when you looked around, and I'm like, this should not be. I can't believe we're living in like where that shit's just okay. Like that they're able to be allowed to release that, and even in Prey, they like in the demo they had that shit. Now because it was a demo, because people got to play it. People jumped on Reddit and just blew Arcane's ass up saying, we can't have this. You need to fix that. They released a patch on day one that fixed the problem. And the game was perfect after that. But how fucking hard is that to have someone sit there and play your game and tell you, no, you can't have this, dude. It's hard to do anything with a gun. How the fuck am I supposed to shoot stuff when I'm trailing around like I'm in a barrel of skeet that I can't move around because I'm like at a delay on everything I try to do. I want
so
quality
what you really
testing.
want is you want them to have their development cycles back.
You have to
think about it. When they had cartridges, they had the longer development cycles. They had to have it perfect before it was released. You still had bugs on cartridges, but it was nothing like it is now. And it was rare for a cart to be released broken like that. You would have games that were released with bugs, and then they would release new revisions of carts. But that was rare. Most of the time when it was released, it was thoroughly play tested. So you weren't buying a broken product. Now they're on such tight budget, and I'm granted the budgets for games have gone up drastically. They got bigger teams, they've got higher, overhead. They've got all this advertising and shit going on. But I still think if they went back to the old ways of when they were making games and they put more time into testing and making sure that things worked right, you wouldn't have situations like this. You wouldn't have discs released that just had the tutorial on it. And you had to actually download the rest of the fucking game. That's insane.
Yeah. For any of you wondering, that was, what was that, Skate 3, I think, that had that?
I think it was Skate 3. It was the last one. I don't remember what system it was on.
That was Skate 3. It was on the 360.
Oh, I remember playing that game with so many glitches. That game was
such a piece of shit.
Broken as hell.
You also have to understand from a business perspective, not every company wants to wait out and have their game take another year. Some businesses can't afford that. They're just like, no, we need it out now. We need to have it now. And some businesses will take that advantage. Like if you've seen from Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls, they took a long time to make some of those games. And they really they made sure it was perfect. But other games are like, let's just put it out because we need money. And it comes back to just the business. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I understand. And for this as a whole, for everyone out there listening.
That's what's crushing game studios. It's what's souring gamers.
Yeah, a lot of that's publisher side. And the first thing I want to say, because developers don't want to release an incomplete game. They don't want to sully their name with that. A lot of the time, what gets pushed out is because of the publisher side, and the developers can't really do much. A lot of their money's coming from these publishers. They need to work on getting these games out, and if they're being told, if they're being pushed to do it, they have to do it. They just have to suck it up and bear with it and try and fix it after it comes out, which is probably what happened with Andromeda, because BioWare as a whole is working on their new IP. But what the biggest thing I want to be taken from everyone listening and from us all here is that with all of this, any problems that you have, vote with your wallet. Tell your friends, vote with your wallet. If you see a game is fucked up, and I have to work on this too, because I buy everything under the fucking sun because I have Andromeda, and I don't even fucking touch it because I don't like the way it is right now, and I'm hoping they patch it. But if you see anything, if you have a problem with anything, and you don't like the way a game is panning out, you don't like the business model of a company, you vote with your wallet. That's $60 that they don't get from you, and you could sit there and say, I don't give a shit if your friends buy it. Be straight up, stand your ground, be like, this company is doing something I don't like. That's how everything else in the consumer market is. If a company, that's why all these companies are so worried about PR as a whole, because if they fuck up in some way or another, their stocks are going to drop and their sales are going to drop, and they don't want that shit to happen. That's why everyone's so around the bush, wishy-washy about offending anybody, because the moment they do that, they lose a shitload of money. So as a consumer,
studios used to be smaller, man. They used to be smaller. They didn't have PR disaster teams. What she's talking about with business, the business models have changed drastically.
Oh no, I'm not talking. With that, I'm not talking about. With that, I'm not talking about game company. I'm just saying as like the consumer market as a whole. I'm saying just for games.
Yeah.
If you see, because like they get backlash on games all the time. I'm just saying, if you see something that you don't enjoy in a game, like say for Infinite Warfare, we saw that as a community. That game that game, although it still did super well, because there's a population of gamers that they're not on the internet. They're not looking at what's going on a news perspective. It's just every year a new Call of Duty comes out. They're like, oh hell yeah, dude, fuck yeah, Call of Duty. Bro,
that's their
guys,
audience, though.
We got to get Call of Duty, dudes. And like, they don't give a shit. And those aren't those people on the internet.
It's like FIFA.
But for us, I don't want to say the more intelligent because that sounds mean, but the people that are more into the community as a whole, you gotta vote that way. And they did that with Destiny too. A lot of people dropped out of Destiny initially because of what they fucking did, and a lot of people aren't going to buy Destiny 2 because of what happened with Destiny 1. And I understand. I have nothing wrong with those people, because they're voting with their wallet, and I believe everyone has the right to that, and everyone should do that. So that's just what I want to be taken from this. As we continue to move forward, because today the way that gaming has developed is really taking a shit, and the kind of business practices we have today and how much money they squeeze out of us. But there's no huge scale movement to fight this. Everyone just keeps putting into it.
Okay. And that's part of why we're having the discussion, is kind of like see what we'd like to see change. And a lot of it's things that there's not much we can do about. The pre-order, like as much as we love pre-orders and we're getting pre-order bonuses, we get statues and we get to be the first in line for limited productions of bundles. But pre-orders originally came around because games weren't selling and they weren't making money on certain games. Like, to be honest, shitty IPs, they weren't selling, and they were still pushing out shitty IPs, but nobody was buying them. And when they created the pre-order idea then creates this rush, hey, you can be the first to get this game, so on and so forth. And it picked up like wildfire. I remember one of the first games I remembered seeing on pre-order was Mario Sunshine, your baby. and but I don't remember who started it. I know GameStop had a huge role in the whole pre-order thing, and I don't remember when I first pre-ordered something. I think it was Final Fantasy VIII. It's probably the first thing I paid for in advance. But when you're pre-ordering something, they're getting a lock on how many units they've got sold. And they're not having to push as hard to sell a game. So we're pre-ordering games and giving them money ahead of time. They're getting a promise to pay, which they're going to collect on most of for a game that we don't even know is good yet. So they're able to push these games like Mass Effect out the door unfinished because they already have a promise for X number of units. They already know they've sold enough to make X number of profit back. And it's not just the pre-ordering, because there's elements of that I like. I like being able to secure my special edition because that shit does tend to sell out.
Yeah, I feel you.
I like the ability to pre-order, but there's a double-edged sword to a lot of the conveniences that we have in gaming now, like DLC. It was supposed to be to get additional game content to a complete game. Now they're selling us a game that's 3/4 of the way. They tell 3/4 of the story, and then it stops. And if you want more after that cliffhanger, you got to give them another $30.
Well, that's how they
20 years ago, you've gotten it all on the disc. Destiny's an MMO, though. That's different. You're expecting expandable content there. But for instance,
Destiny didn't really have anything. Destiny didn't really have
Right?
anything as a confined story at the start of it, really. Anyway, so they weren't
or
really,
at the end of it.
yeah, it was more of like you're just like adding arcs of story that you kind of.
Well, look at Castlevania Lords of Shadow, right? The whole story is this guy turns into Dracula. That's the whole story. But the journey you get on the stock game was him finding out that the person who hired him or who got him into this quest in the first place was actually a bad guy. There's more to it than that, but that's pretty much it. You play through X number of levels, you do not get the end of the story. The only way you get the end of the story is by paying for additional DLC. So if you just had the first game and you're on a budget, I grew up fucking poor. I know what it's like to not have money to go and buy every DLC that comes out. So you save up money, you get the $60 game, you play the game, you play part 2. He's magically a fucking vampire. When the shit did that happen? You know, you should have the whole story on the game. And if there is supplemental material that comes afterwards, then you sell that. You expand on it. You give a little chapter in between the two stories. But it's turned into something where they don't even have to put the whole game on there now. And they can force you to buy that DLC because if you want the experience you paid for, you've got to spend an extra $13, $15, $20, $30.
Yeah, I feel you, Mr. Hurricane.
Sorry, I had to go outside because there's World War III happening in my house.
Okay. So I agree with you, and I understand where you're coming from with the whole pre-order thing as well. It definitely is. Again, this is something that we've fostered as a community, because it, like, every time a business does something, they put it out, they see if it works, and the only reason we see more of it is because they know it works. Because when it comes down to it, in everything, they don't really give a fuck about us as a whole. It's more of about how to bring more money into the business. So if they see something is working, they don't care how many people they piss off. If they see that it's going to continue to make them money, they'll continue doing it.
Money talks.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing that they want to do about it because they know they could sit down, continue to throw out a new Call of Duty every year that looks exactly the same and plays exactly the same, and people will fucking buy it. They don't care how many people they piss off. Like it shows shiningly with the new Call of Duty. The new Call of Duty still did very well, and if you look at the release for the YouTube video, that's one of the most disliked videos in like the history of YouTube. It's like right up there with like Justin Bieber and Rebecca Black. Yeah,
it was the most disliked gaming video of all time.
It's crazy. So, but again, people still bought it. It didn't matter. That's why it doesn't. Again, it all comes back down to it, and I might say it again, but you got to vote with your wallets. So, another thing that I think, as we've moved away from retro gaming, is, I'm trying to think of how to word this, but games today, we talked about pre-orders, we talked about incomplete games, and then DLC being pushed out. I think another thing is they're trying to, I don't really know how I'm trying to say this. Shit, I need to think about it. Antony, do you have anything that you can add to this conversation? Because I need to sit back and think about this.
What I would like to see in games is not, well, it wouldn't have to be like game-wise, but... Is this better, Kyle?
Yes. Man's talking like a mile away from the microphone, and I can't...
I'm sure it picks it up.
It does, but I'd like it to be as clear as possible.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No, it's not. It's not like, like game wise, but more like technology wise. Like I cannot wait to see where VR is gonna take us, because right now anything VR is experimental, and it's like infantile stage, and it's super expensive. But like all expensive things that are like new, eventually it's gonna be more like it's gonna be made cheaper, and it's gonna be more available to everyone. So I can't wait till that point comes out and see how far it's come. Because I've seen some really like crazy things with VR, where it's like a full VR thing, where this person's like in a machine and like they're hoisted up, they're held like it's like a bar over their head, and like they can walk in the game as they're walking. They look to the left, they look to the right.
Yeah, you got special shoes and a harness that swivels with you. The shoes slide on the pad.
Exactly.
Oh my god, those are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like something like that.
That's not affordable yet. But could you imagine having a unit like that in every household?
Well,
Yeah.
you would have to have a dedicated room for that.
Yeah, that's
Like that's
You would.
that is generation. I don't think it's going to go that route though. I have some theories on that. I don't think it's going to go that route. I'd like to see it.
No, same, me
But
too. I would really love to see that, but I don't think it's at least it's not gonna be like anytime soon.
I think it's interesting because if you look at like just recently, a new game release is called Farpoint, and it's a VR game, and it's entirely a first-person shooter VR. They have their own cinematic story, and you actually move around the world. And from what I've seen gameplay-wise, it looks like Call of Duty, but you're controlling the character with an apparatus for the shooting, and you move around, and you have the headset. So it's an entirely enveloped, like, well, it's more sci-fi, but Call of Duty experience and you have full control of the character. I mean, you're not actually walking, but you have that control on the controller that you hold. But like from what I've heard from people, you feel like you're there. Like even if you look back at Resident Evil with just a headset on RE7. I've heard that it like quadruples the scariness factor of the game because you feel like you're right there. Like anyone attacking you feels like they're right there in your face, and those people don't even have anything that is imitating them actually controlling the character. They're just in the world with their eyes. And
but it tricks your brain.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why people fall over when they're doing the rock climbing exercises, or you can go to Toys R Us when they have the VR hooked up and laugh when somebody's mom falls over.
Just Shawn sitting there in a lawn chair.
Even if dude, I would, dude. It's fucking hilarious. I've gotten to see it like 2 or 3 times. It's epic. But and they have a staff. They usually have staff there now to catch people or to touch them when they start to fucking go over. There's a cat fight on my back porch.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
like
hear
hearing
it.
I'm like,
dude,
what's happening?
We are live with Shawn at the scene of the crime with the cat fight.
They're just going nuts.
Oh.
I just turned the lights on back there.
No, we're not live.
Oh my god,
that is amazing,
Yeah.
Shawn. I love the experience you bring to our podcast.
Now the dogs are fucking talking to the cats.
they're placing bets.
Yeah,
It's Fight Club right now.
Oh,
Okay.
guys, they're cats. Deal. It's okay.
Oh my god, it sounds like you. It sounds like you like hit them or something.
Okay.
No. I just knocked on the door. Cats are scared. They ran off. You guys, it's cats. Seriously, it's not. It's just cats.
Again,
Really.
we have such a high level of professionalism here.
Yes.
It is
It will increase, folks. But I don't know. That's part of the entertainment value.
I feel like they're here.
Shawn, I'm just gonna pay to fly you down here every Saturday, so you can be here.
Yeah, right. What about you?
Amazing.
What kind of tech or experiences or whatnot would you like to see continue? Is there something you desperately like to see change? Something about the environment as a whole, or even gaming culture?
I think this is me being a developer. I really want to see more towards the app market and change its way of how we play video games and how we play games.
So you're more mobile.
I am more mobile because we all use our phones, and I feel like we're still not expanding in really big games. Like when they brought in the mobile of Star Wars: The Old Republic, when they brought that into the App Store, I was so happy. But it was like $10. But I was just really happy because, I love that game and I missed it so much, and I was able to play it.
But it wasn't worth $10.
I mean, I had an iTunes gift card. But I think
that game would be worth $10.
I think something I really do look forward towards is PC gaming with the VR. Like using online resources for the VR. I really want to see that. Like a whole new gaming system like for just online.
What?
So
Like just like a new, you know how like there's online gaming systems, but like gaming systems you can put towards your PC.
Isn't every gaming system an online gaming system?
No, but like towards your PC. I don't know how to explain this. I'm terrible at explaining stuff.
Well, the PC has the power to put.
I have like an engineering mindset.
Are you saying you're saying? Okay, so we're talking about playing VR in a multiplayer environment,
Well,
right?
yeah, but that one that can really connect towards your. Well, I know VR connects to your PC.
So we're
but
talking
I
about-
want it more towards like PC games, like online.
Well, I
what is
would.
it?
so you want PC games to
Like no
you
online games, but like on the.
But you want more of like a
PC online.
Oh, what is that name called?
So, like,
I
you
don't
want
wanna
more-
say it because you guys are gonna make fun of me.
you want more of like a of developmental focus towards multiplayer VR PC gaming
Yeah.
because there is stuff like that already. Like there's something called Rec Room, and you could.
MMORPGs.
Yeah. Like
mean
I
a
want to
VR
towards more like online, but MMORPG games.
So you want like an MMO that's VR?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking
want
sick.
one.
Why'd that take you so long to say?
Because
Like,
I told you I have an engineering mindset, so when it comes to me explain, I can do math like.
I'm
it's no-
sorry, but like it sounded really dumb until you
I'm
said
going
MMO VR.
into game design so that I can make games. So I may actually come back to you in future conversations with some ideas and questions because hopefully I'll be going to school for that soon.
For
And I don't want to go
Game
to Full
design.
Sail to do it. Game design. I want to make video games. But I have
my
had
God,
a dream
wanna
since
make
I was a
apps.
kid.
Let's do this together.
All right. Since I was a kid, when I would see a Final Fantasy game come up, they would have the guy's name first. The one who dictated the creative direction the story went, what the characters look like. It was his brain baby, and he worked with this entire team to create it. But it was his idea. It was his mental thing. He worked with other, it was his baby. I want to be that guy. I want to be the one that comes up with ideas, creates ideas, comes up with concepts, and works with the different teams to further those concepts. Mechanics and game engine and art design. And these guys would work with all these teams to create these products. Because I want to have something to do with all the elements, but mostly I just want to create something that gives people an escape. Because for a long time, Final Fantasy was my way. It was like reading a book. That's why I read books. That's why I play video games, is to get away from things. It's escapist entertainment. It's a way for me to live another life, to be another character, to have an adventure, to be something more than what this world is. Same reason I watch movies. It's all interrelated to me. Movies, games, music, all these different forms of escape and catharsis. That's all very important to me. And so I want to bring that passion to projects and create games.
Now that you say
It
that,
combines all the things that I love.
now that you say that, I feel the same way about all that. And for me, it would be the sci-fi genre that does the most for me. Like, if it has anything to do with sci-fi, it gets my brain going. I start thinking about it, like, once I finish the game, or like the movie's finished, or I just finished the book, and I start thinking, hey, like, I kind of start thinking beyond the story. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? And it's just fun to think
Right.
about, and kind of like maybe even put yourself in that situation. Just kind of like take you
That's
away
why
from
I
everything
like
else.
media.
Definition
Right.
of escapism there.
Yeah.
I'm a very big fan of escapism. And that's why I want to create games for people to play that do take them away. It's not just Final Fantasy. I've had that experience with other titles. The Last of Us, for instance, really fell into that game, really
Yes.
loved the whole experience. So for me, it's an experience. It's
Wait, you said
part
Last of
of
Us,
my
correct?
growing
Yeah.
up in my
Yeah,
life.
it's The
Yeah.
Last of Us.
Okay.
So I want to get into design. I'm not like you. I have a logical core, but for the most part, I am not the most logical of people, but I do love stories.
Yeah.
And it's a recurring theme with me when we talk about games, where I love stories and I like people to be able to experience stories. So I would love to make games. I hate with a burning passion of 1,000 dying suns the mobile industry and what it's done to gaming.
Oh shit.
Well, okay. The only
You're
reason
going to let me finish.
I'm gonna
But
talk
it
to you
was
about that.
inevitable.
Oh god.
It was inevitable. There was not much that we could do to avoid that. It was a natural outgrowing of both smartphones as well as what the Game Boy had proven was possible. but I hate what they've done to gaming. I hate how it's leached into our home consoles. There are principles that started in mobile gaming, such as microtransactions, that now are in home consoles constantly. Paywalls all over the place. This is God drives me nuts. But anyway, I want to go into gaming, but I do not want to make games for phones. I don't want to play games on phones. I don't want a gaming environment on phones. That has never been something I'm interested in. I am a diehard console gaming guy.
You have to understand from my perspective is that the reason why I really want to create games on that, mobile applications is because I want to find, one of my apps that I created, it's under my name, is a game for kids to learn how to code their music. And it's just creating ways, to make it more accessible for kids and people who aren't just gamers. And that's the reason why I love, the App Store and the way how it's so accessible for anybody, not for those hardcore gamers, but it's for like a mom. Non-gamer crowd.
The App Store mobile gaming it shares a lot in common with what happened with the Wii. The original Wii, mind you.
It's not for hardcore gamers. It's for everybody. That's why I want to create games that are for everybody that you can learn from. It's not just a game where you're just going to be like, oh my God, I didn't win. Like, no, it's just going to be like, let's learn. Let's combat this problem.
Well,
that's the reason why I want to create stuff like that.
Yeah, let's both
how it spilled over into home gaming.
Let's both agree that we're not arguing against each other in this fact, because you both have stated completely
it's a discussion.
Separate. Yeah, it's a discussion. Yeah, and I agree with both of you on that. I think that games, as they are made, can be made with multiple purposes, and I also do not like what games that were made for games like gamers on the mobile market have created things that have leaked into more console or games that, because like you could have someone that plays like fucking Candy Crush or whatever and never touch a PlayStation or whatever, but the support that they've given Candy Crush has affected people who only play consoles because
it's a business model that worked. When you see a business model work,
vote with your
everybody
wallet.
else tries to use it. Right. That's why I don't. I used to pay. The only mobile games that I will put on my phone are ones that I buy free to play mobile games on my phone. I make no microtransactions on my phone. I have bought all of the Final Fantasy games, or no, not all of them. There's a few left that I haven't bought that I can play on my phone. But I paid money for those. I got the whole fucking thing. I didn't get it in pieces. I don't have to pay to do the next level or to get to play another stage. Give us another $1. I'm not doing that. I hate that model. I like what she's talking about, and I think the mobile market has promise, but I think we're moving towards a direction, and like it or not, our software is changing, our consoles are changing, and how we play games are changing. Couch co-op is almost a thing of the past. The Switch is trying to bring it back, and I hope to God it works. But many of the fondest memories and the things I love about gaming are going away. Final Fantasy 15 is a perfect example. I waited a long time to play that game. I was so excited. And when I finally got to play the demo, here I am playing a game that draws more from Mass Effect and more from Dragon Age than it does from Final Fantasy's storied history that goes back decades. That crushed me. And what are you going to do? Their market has changed. Japan is a mobile gaming market now. Consoles have not sold for a while. The Game Boys, the DSs, their sales have been dropping too. So if it's going to change, what changes do I want to see? I want to see the experience of gaming continue. I want to see the fun I had of playing Conker's Bad Fur Day together on a TV and laughing at the jokes to continue. I don't want everything to be so impersonal over the internet. I will say that I have made an extended family of friends through Destiny and through online playing of these games that I find very valuable. But I want to return to something more unique. We are going towards homogenization. All of the consoles are low-powered computers of similar build. Eventually, what's likely to happen is they're going to drop the console idea entirely and just sell the pre-made towers that are made to play games. And if you want, you can add other hardware and shit to them. But I don't think we're going to have, I think it's probably just a generation or two down the road where it's a Sony computer system. And you buy it and you can plug it in your TV, or you can plug a computer monitor up to it. It comes with a keyboard and a mouse, and it plays games. And you download it from a market. Physical media will be gone. Strategy guides will all be digital. Everything will be necessary. And how much of that is going to carry over that classic feeling of when you sat down to play the Four Swords with your handheld systems, or when you sat down to do Mario Kart at your friend's house, or that first time you picked up that really good sci-fi game and just fell into something that was more about story than it was flash. I'm seeing the commercialization of the industry that I love. It's going the natural route it is. It's becoming more and more money centric, less and less about the end product, and more about how little can we put into it to still get out the mass amount. And it's always been business, but the business model is more ruthless and it's less focused on the consumer than it used to be. And I think if they just change their mentality just a little bit toward realizing what they're trying to do is create a pleasurable experience, it gives people a good amount of entertainment that tells a story that people are going to want to hear. And maybe if they have an idea and a vision they want to stick to, that they stick to that vision. You guys still there?
Yeah.
Look what they did with Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3, perfect example. They could have given everyone an ending that everyone wanted to have, but the team stuck to their guns and they felt that this was the right ending, right? And they did the ending and people exploded, and they came back and said, look, this is the ending we wanted. This is what we felt is the right story, but we have created some additional content since you feel so passionately that gives you this additional ending. And it was a halfway point. They didn't sell out the entire game just because people said, hey, this is what's popular. We want this kind of ending. We want a happy ending. We want this. We want that. They didn't do that. They made the game they set out to make with the ending they set out to make. And for those people that weren't happy, they still listened and gave them something. Square didn't do that. There's a lot of other companies that aren't doing that. The most Square did was like, oh, okay, well, we put in here's a Koopa. Here's a Quee. Here's a bird joke. Here's some flashbacks to tunes that you liked in the games that were a much better playing experience overall. But they went Western because they didn't feel that what they wanted to make was selling anymore. Now, I'm not knocking that entirely. You have to evolve, but we're losing some of what we love. Right. But I think there's a way to carry over what people love about gaming without losing its soul. And for me, it's a much more intrinsic experience. And I feel like I'm losing connection with what I love because of how the business models are changing. And I'd like them to try and bring back some of what all gamers love, not just what's the new and the fashionable. I don't care how the tech changes. I'd like to have different systems. I'd like to have unique tech, but it's not that way anymore. So what's the point of complaining?
Yeah. Also, if you think about it in another way, right? So Final Fantasy is a good example of a bad way of doing it, right? It's a bad way of appealing to new gamers while trying to appeal to veterans of the series at the same time. I want to go ahead and say that if you look at the other opposite end of the spectrum, I'd say Persona 5 did a good job at appealing to both sides, because instead of making what?
Excellent. It did an excellent job.
Instead of making it where they're completely retuning the game to make it more appealing, they're changing the aesthetic of the game to make it more appealing to newer players, right? So when people see stuff for Persona 5, they see that game just looks badass. It looks cool. They have cool effects. Everything looks cool. And that pulls you in instead of the whole game. And then they learn to play the game the way Persona has always been played. The life sim aspect with the dungeon traveling aspect. And then they draw people in almost as a hook to a story with the aesthetic of the game. And I've talked to a lot of people that have played Persona for the first time on 5. Like, it was like the first time they ever played Persona, and they absolutely loved the game because the game as a whole, it's always been good. The formula they've been refining over the renditions of the Persona series have been good, and they've just been perfecting it. And then now we're getting very close to this game has had the highest scores amongst the series. That they're there.
They're on commercial of all of them.
Yeah, they're on
the
cusp.
Most out there.
Yeah, it's the hype. Yeah, it's probably the hypest launch that they've had in the U.S. amongst all the Personas. It's gotten the most uproar from it, I'd say. And again, I've talked to all these people, and they've fallen in love with the game because they were drawn in by the aesthetic, but the gameplay and the way the game's designed and everything else about it is what kept them there. And Final Fantasy does the same thing. But they decided to appeal to a Western audience where Atlas didn't give a fuck, and they just made Persona again, but made it appeal to the Western audience in the way that it has like a comic book style. It always has the fucking amazing music by what's his name? I think it's Shoji Meguro. Is that his name? Shawn, the composer for the music?
I think you got the first
name. So, yeah.
I think it's Shoji Meguro, something like that. But he's the one that composed the music. And again, all the Personas, although I know you don't like the whole disco aspect to them, we can both agree that the games do a good job at music amplifying the experience.
You can't Google
always.
Yeah. So again,
I think that it's just they lost the soul. And it's not just Final Fantasy that's doing this. We're seeing a lot of established IPs, and even across in other markets, comic books, etc. They're either stomping all over something that they built up for years to try and cater to a new audience or expand their audience, or they're respecting what they've done before while they make changes. And I think there's a fine balance there. And for me, the culture of gaming is the part that concerns me the most. How those stories are changing, how these developers are relating to us, how they're communicating to us through the software. And the one thing I can say about the Switch, as nutty of an idea as it was, and even if it was 10 years late, or 8 years late from when they should have released something like that, the one thing Nintendo is still trying to do is they're still trying to foster that community. They're still trying to bring across stories. They're still trying to bring something that brings players together in the same room where you have that same experience, that sense of community is there. The one thing about Sony is they've made it sterile. It's very difficult to feel connected to the people that you're playing games with. You have to go through all these extra steps. It's different when you're sitting on a couch. I like that when there's options. And for a long time, there was no couch co-op. Like there was 8 titles for a year or two on the PS4 that actually had couch co-op. Things are fading away that need to stay. Yeah, and that's the part. And it's a subject that's too big. That's my whole point is I think we need to take a good hard look at what made gaming special as it moves forward. This is my one request to the gaming world. Look at what made the last 20, 30 years special. Keep that when you move forward. Whatever other changes you make, I'll deal with. But you're leaving things behind. And those are important things. And these things don't necessarily damage business models. I think if you thought just a little bit more, played your cards just a little bit more carefully, or maybe asked us what we wanted before you made Final Fantasy 15, I think you might have gotten a little bit more of a response.
Yeah, also,
I think we might have ended up with a different product.
If you look at just we're gonna get a little.
Well, hold on just a second. Elizabeth was trying to say something earlier, and we stomped all over. What were you saying? Do you remember?
Well, something that's really been on my mind is with the whole technology world, and something that I think it's been really brought to the light, and they're trying to make a movement now, is making gaming accessible to everybody. Because if you think about it, if you're colorblind, there are ways that you can change the ways you view your TV, but not everybody has that accessibility.
If they put a City and Destiny for it,
or it's just if you think about it, how can you make gaming accessible to everybody, to somebody who can't really see, or who can't hear, to the visually impaired. And that's to me, that's why I really, really like the mobile application community, is because you can make gaming to everybody out there. And there is ways that you can make it for somebody who can't even use their fingers.
Yeah, and again, we agree with that as a whole, because the more people that play games, the more people you could talk to about playing games, and that's cool because games do a very good job at bringing people together. And we all agree with that comment as a whole, but I'd like to think of it as an evolution instead of like, because if you look at the games that they've now, I'm talking about on the end of like console PC gaming. If you look at the games that they've tried to make more accessible, right? They're doing that, but like as Shawn said previously, they're crushing what they had built up to. And like I said, Persona 5 I think is a good example because it's done so well to both new and veteran gamers. It's an evolution. And with evolution,
and it's not the most easily accessible title in the past either. So they've done a lot from even 4 to 5. Getting into 4 is a kind of an undertaking to understand how everything fits together. 5 has made things much more approachable, but you're still getting an experience that somebody who loves Persona can enjoy, as well as a new person coming in. When you make certain steps and certain changes, I think it's just how much thought I don't know. I know it's a tricky process, but
it's like
obviously right.
Yeah, like I was just trying to say, it's like it's an evolution. We're taking steps and evolving the gaming community to move. We're not like I felt like, and I'm sure other people kind of had the feeling, but thinking back to Final Fantasy 15, it almost feels like it's not a step forward, but it's like a step sideways. Like we're not trying to evolve the series anymore. We're trying to appeal, and again, there's nothing wrong with appealing, because the more gamers we have and the larger the community is, your games do wonderful things. Like Destiny, the amount that did for our group as a whole, like we met Shawn through it, we met Hector through it, we met Tyler through it. And if I would have never met you three guys, we wouldn't be sitting here today, most likely. Well, actually, I can't really say that, but like we all love you, Shawn. We all love Hector. We all love Tyler. And we met you. I've never fucking even seen your face before. I only got your beautiful voice to jack off to in my sleep. So I think that, like I said, Final Fantasy 15 feels like a step sideways and not a step forward. And I have nothing wrong with. I feel like even when it comes to appealing not just to people that aren't gamers, but appealing more to both sides, because you have a lot of console games that come out that. Like, why don't we have settings on PS4s? Why can I not change render distance? Why can I not change FOV sliders? Why can I not deal things that...
You'll see more of that come out as it becomes even more like a home PC.
Well, yeah, I see that.
I'm sure of it.
But in Borderlands 2, you can.
Yeah, you can do that in Borderlands 2, because I was actually playing with Shawn.
You showed it to me.
And I showed him to him, because in Borderlands, for some reason, the camera's almost on the fucking gun. And you're just like,
the gun's coming out of your nose.
Yeah, it's retarded. So it's like a 55 or 60 FOV when like the best way to have like at a 90.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Okay, but I agree, and a lot of games are moving towards dealing with people that have any form of disabilities, and I understand how not a lot of games aren't accessible if you have something like a paralysis or issues with your hands. But
they have a company that makes controllers specifically for people who have difficulties with hands and things like that too. It's been coming up in the end.
We should all just band together, build nerve gears, and then we don't have to worry about it, I guess.
That's why I was kind of like going more towards like the VR. Like I was
just connects to your nervous system, and you're there.
How far it will go.
Yeah.
Maybe not like the ridiculous rigs that they have, like the full body rigs, but maybe something like that advanced. I mean, that's probably not going to be in our lifetime, but it'd just be something cool. Like if they're actually considering something like a nerve gear, that'd be pretty. Well, that'd be pretty cool.
Antony, they have a couple of warehouses they built out where they have these walls, right? They basically created an office building or something, right? And there's usually one or two floors, and the walls are made with this reflective material, and then there will be like green squares or red squares in various areas, and then you wear these helmets on your head, and the helmets are VR, and they give you these weighted plastic guns that feel like guns when you're not looking at them with your eyes. and you can go through the place taking out alien terrorists or whatever they happen to have the game designed around those walls. Yeah, the helmets are designed to recognize the patches and shit, so you get these holographic panels or whatever. You're not seeing the walls, but you aren't going to run into them because the walls are recognized in the software.
Right.
So you're walking through a visually virtual environment with a physical environment. It's kind of like a mixture between VR and that the other thing, the one that like Microsoft is working on, the altered reality AR. Yeah,
augmented reality.
Yeah. So you're seeing some things like that, but that still requires an extensive setup and a huge amount of capital. It's not something you're going to see in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
When I first felt pushed away from gaming was like because the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo could do no wrong. And I was diehard Nintendo fan, and Nintendo 64 was advertised, Ultra 64. I was ready for it. And when they released it, my first game was Shadows of the Empire. And I was all over that shit. I got it for Christmas. I got Shadows of the Empire, best graphics ever, loved it. But I couldn't figure out why everything looked like melted frosting. And then I come to find out they had so little RAM on the system that it couldn't do textures. So they take one little texture and spread it out over like 50 feet, which is why it looked like hot garbage. They still succeeded in making good games in there because the people that made the games loved what they were making. Nintendo they still do have pride in what they make. And now I haven't gotten to play Zelda yet, but Kyle told me that I didn't have to worry about Zelda turning into Skyrim or these other open world games that I hate so much, because I'm all about a good narrative. And he said the narrative is still there. You just have the option of doing other things too. That makes me happy because Nintendo.
I'd say the
love.
Looking to give you a wider perspective on that. The thing, okay, now this is as I've continued to play the game, and I'm almost docked about 100 hours in it now. And one problem I had with Breath of the Wild, and I still think you'll like the game, Shawn, but one problem I had with Breath of the Wild is that it feels like a lot of their time they spent was on building the journey and not the destination, right? The final boss fights.
Final Fantasy 15.
Well, the final boss fight's kind of pathetic, kind of. Getting there is cool, but it's kind of pathetic when you actually do it. And a lot of it is just like
Zelda's never been known for its final boss fights, except for the set pieces. I mean, it's not really like any of the Ganon fights were all that hard.
Well, they're not hard or anything. It's just like it feels almost anticlimactic in a way. The narrative's cool. Yeah. You have to seek it out, and I highly recommend finding all the memories because it's cool seeing what happened before Link was injured and the 100 years passed and all that shit. The story is sad, but Link being his doofy ass self as always, you never see any emotion from him, even though he's going through this almost traumatizing experience. He's still happy as day, murdering moblins or whatever the fuck he does because he's Link and he doesn't give a shit. But I feel like they missed an opportunity because they worked. It was all about like that, like freedom to do anything. They milked the fuck out of that aspect, and that's the
part that worries me because you can give a good experience that way, but you can't tell a good story that way.
And you can't.
I don't play games. I play games for either catchy gameplay, like Metroid, right? Metroid didn't have shit for a story until you played Super Metroid. And then it was also, there's a handful of words, and the rest of it was told through contextual. Like with I don't know if you ever played Super Metroid, but there's this moment where you meet the baby Metroid that you lost from the Game Boy game, or you chased down from the Game Boy game. Or it was you had it in the Game Boy game, and then it was at a lab in the beginning of Super Metroid. It's broken out. Anyway, long story short, you find the baby Metroid. It attacks you and then leaves. It leaves you with just a little bit of health left, and you don't know why. And then later on, you're fighting Mother Brain, and you almost die, and then the Metroid comes back because it's remembered you. They never tell you this, but you're the first face it saw when it hatched. And you protected it to the lab, and you made sure this Metroid was all right. You spent all these games fighting these Metroids and the pirates that were using them as weapons. You have this attachment to this life form. And there are games like Castlevania and stuff like that told their stories through context. But it was still done in such an artfully present way that it worked. And Zelda's never been perfect by any means. I've always wanted Link to talk. I've always wanted to hear his thoughts. And they don't do that because they want you to be in his head. if the character isn't talking or reacting, I don't hear anything. I don't imagine myself as Link. I want to live life through Link. I want to see what his thoughts and feelings are. I don't want to put my own in there. I do other things to do that. So for me, like, that was one gripe I always had, was when they played an RPG like Chrono. Chrono never fucking says a word. Why? You know, same fucking principle. They say it makes it easier to relate. I don't think so. But the long story short is, I still like Zelda, and I hope that they still give an amazing experience like they did before. If they didn't, then that'll just be another disappointment. What I was trying to say earlier about systems is I felt disappointed by the 64, mostly because I could see that Nintendo cut corners. They'd never done that before. So that was really upsetting to me. But when the Wii came out, that's when I really felt wounded. Like the GameCube, I felt like they were going a budget route, and that was disappointing, but they still had some good titles. But again, it was just another failure in my eyes. When Wii came out, I thought it was going to be different. And then they took away the most important part of my gaming experience. They took my controller away. You know, I like what they did in place of it, but one of the things that I'd like to see gaming do a little bit differently is, rather than go, all right, now you have to use this, go, okay, we're making games for motion controls. If possible, there will also be alternate settings for this other controller that we are giving you with this system, so that you are not forced to stand there like an idiot holding a fucking Wii wand or Wiimote and do dumb shit, because that never appealed to me. Holding the Wiimote and doing that dumb shit, it's fucking annoying.
I remember playing...
And that caused a huge problem for me. But there were so many games that didn't even give a fuck about that. There were RPGs that came out near the end of its lifespan that didn't use the motion controls. They just used the system to tell a good story. Were the graphics perfect? No. Were the games amazing? Yes. If you never played fucking The Last Story, you're missing out. That game is fucking phenomenal. It's emotional, it's powerful, it's well told, it's well paced. There's tons of stuff to do, even though 90% of it takes place inside of the same city. There's all this story to unlock, and you can do multiple playthroughs, get different experiences. It's a powerful game that nobody knows about, and it didn't use motion controls at all. So there were alternatives on there, but they needed alternatives when they dropped the system. So they pushed me away, being a traditional gamer, because they made it specifically to appeal to people that don't game. But the old Super Nintendo, the Nintendo, those appealed to people who gamed and didn't.
Yeah. All right,
There was
Shawn,
never a division, you know?
We're running a bit long, so we're going to go final thoughts on this topic. We're going to go around the table real quick, and we'll go ahead and
three sentences?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up this main topic for today. So I'm going to go first. Again, I agree with everything, the pre-ordering, the DLC. I'm going to say it one more time, but we are fostering these changes. For us as a whole, this community, if you see something you do not like, don't buy it. That's all I got to say. It's that simple. It works with everything else in society. If you find Pop-Tarts that they release that are cupcake flavored, and all they have are cupcake flavored Pop-Tarts, but they taste like fucking garbage, you're not going to buy the fucking cupcake Pop-Tarts. And then eventually they'll stop making only cupcake Pop-Tarts. They'll bring back their other flavors. So it goes the same thing with games. If you see a bunch of games that are incomplete, shitty, you have a problem with something in the game, just don't buy it. You can live without it. Again, coming from me, that's kind of almost blasphemy. And
yeah, I bought Final Fantasy 15, so I'm just as guilty.
Yeah, so do that. And then what do you have, Antony? What do you think about this?
Like in the direction that I
no. Yeah. Your final words on our topic. What do you think?
Sentences.
Sum it up. What do you want to see from gaming moving forward, or what do you want to see it stray away from? Either or.
Yeah, I'm not much of a griper or like a complainer. I'm not very picky with games.
I'm talking to you, Shawn.
Like,
Fuck you, Antony.
This is why I'm with him. I'm just kidding.
Like I've been told by like a lot of people, like whether like when I like a game or like a movie, and I'm like, oh, I thought that movie was okay, or like I enjoyed it, and they're like, what, that movie sucked. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm not
Fuck
much
me,
of
right?
like I said, I don't complain too much, so there's not much I like want to see get rid of or like added on. But for me, it would be like technology wise, like where like what I am gonna
What you want to see?
How do I explain this?
You want to see how you want to see the technology advance.
How we interact with the game, how we play with different controllers, like the VR, stuff like that, like that nature.
Okay. What about you, Elizabeth?
So I really do like the whole point that Shawn is making. It is really crucial that we keep following the values of what it is to be a hardcore gamer, or what it is to even just develop a game. We just need to start following those values. And a lot of companies don't take that into consideration, the community, a game can really make for everybody, or the accessibility. So, one simple game can create like a whole nother idea for another game. And that's what I really believe. I'm sorry I'm going really deep into this, but I'm just saying, like, I agree with what Shawn's saying, and I really hope that, we make games that are still following those values that we all believe in as gamers.
And you, Shawn, I'm giving you, Shawn, you get 3 sentences.
Yeah, I made it like 10 sentences.
Because if not, we'll be here for another half hour.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said, but
you get 3 sentences.
The best way I could put it is, I'd like gaming to keep its own identity. It's been merging with Hollywood and computer technology and industry. I'd like it to keep its own identity. The farther along it becomes into this all-encompassing medium, the more it seems to lose touch of where it came from. I don't think it needs to be a home computer. I don't think they needed to follow x86 architecture, despite the fact that it's cheaper and easier to go that way. I think it needs to keep its own identity. Consoles are special. There's a reason why they're different than computers. There's a reason why they function differently, why they're optimized the way they are. And I want, again, she put it best, I mean, there's a culture, there's a system of values that were in place that we shared with developers, the relationship we had with the products. And we are being, as much as there are communities being fostered, it's in a very artificial way. And I want to see that closeness brought back. I felt like I knew these products. And it's not just because I'm a little bit older now that I feel like they're being taken away from me and changed and dumbed down for the masses. We're not stupid people. I mean, there's a lot of stupid people out there, but I mean, we know what's happening. And the majority of gamers, as far as I know, aren't particularly thrilled about it, but they think they've got no control. And that's not true. Like you said, we fight with our wallets.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to see the heart return to gaming, and it seems like it's going away. I'd like that to come back.
I definitely agree. So, again, one more time, thank you all for joining us.
Penis.
That as well on episode 5 of the Thought Patrol podcast. We love talking to you. If you guys have anything that you would like to say to us as a whole,
good or bad,
you can either join the Discord community.
Don't tell me.
Send us anything you wanna chill out with us. Maybe even play games. Kyle. Maybe even play games with us. Yeah, throw it all at me. I'll take it. And leave a comment, a like. If you enjoy the content, a subscribe. We'll eventually be working on getting more things that'll be more interactable with you guys, like Let's Plays and stuff like that. And also look for us on your normal podcasting services. I'm going to try and get on as many as I can. So Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, stuff like that. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to listen to us. We don't want to make it hard for you guys. So look out for that as well. And if you follow the Twitter, I'll be posting updates about that on Twitter as well. So again, thank you all for joining us, and you all have a wonderful day or night, whatever time you're listening.
And remember, hugs and kisses and all your pink parts.
Exactly.
Bye.
See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya.